gonna give you the same as I said.
Yeah.
Like
I should have picked
honestly,
a Pacific take.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like
you should have said like FPX is gonna make it out of the Swiss.
Dude, honestly, I had to believe. I have to believe it. And I couldn't believe that.
I don't have enough red peppers for that.
Oh yeah, I mean
that's crazy.
So. Yeah, it makes sense. All right, well that's mine. That's mine. We heard the rest of the field. All right, so you guys let us know how wrong or right we are once again on the internet. I'm sure it's going to be a lovely conversation. Speaking of though, let's go ahead and check out the results for the MasterCard fan poll, because earlier we asked you beautiful people what region's going to win it all, and Pacific gets the nod at a whopping 57.6%.
They're running.
It's not wrong. I actually kind of agree with that.
They're never wrong.
Yeah. And also, they're running away with it too, because the spread was a little bit tighter between Pacific and Americas earlier.
Yeah.
When I voted.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say who I voted for.
Yeah.
But it was tighter, and now they're like running away with it.
Yeah, they really are. I wonder if it's a time zone bias. Now they get to experience that.
Yeah, they get to bully it a little bit.
Yeah, after we've been doing it for so long. All right,
it's like 10 a.m. I've never seen anyone awake in space.
What the fuck?
That's very true. What time is it? Yeah, it's really early back home as well. I mean, this is it, guys. We're about to watch our first match of Shanghai. You guys excited?
Really?
My brother.
Come on.
My brother.
Hey, I didn't fly to this end of the world to not be excited.
This is a fair point. And to be completely honest with you, I had 20 seconds to fill. So that's why I asked the question. Okay, right here. All right, I'm trying to do my job. In any case, though, folks, this is it. So why don't we go ahead and get this group stage started? Because we got T1 facing off against Gen G, FPX facing off against FUT Esports. Day one of Master Shanghai starts right now.
Check. Okay. Tadi itu suara tadi. Dari tadi. Belum mulai coy. Kita lihat sorry banget nih, gua nggak ada prediksi.
康真的很猛，他去年在东京的表现震撼了整个城市。我发誓，每个玩家都想成为他。
Di hari ini FPX sama Ducky One G2, oke. Besok Gen G Leviathan, HyperX sama DRG, oke. Halo Raffi.
我的梦能在上海变成现实吗？我坚信，只要我勤勉不懈，定能攀上巅峰。
Kita lihat movie-nya dulu.
我看中路啊！我有大！音乐是我的使命，日复一日，我在不断打磨自己的技艺，时刻准备着，直到有一天，全世界都知道我的名字。我会为此拼到底。我看到，等我。
Nice，哥，我们5点玩的可以啊，把对面团灭了。
这么帅，
你打不？
我不行。
Bakalan ada clove nggak ya?
你今晚要去参加 Cipher 吗？
当然了，你来吗？
必须的。
上海，这座滨海之城，是影像与声音的拼贴叠加。
Bro, Shanghai is so beautiful, bro. I love this city. I just want to see it at night.
It reminds me of São Paulo.
Oh yeah, it's just like lock-in, man.
中国嘻哈的扎根深深在这儿，这里也是 Battle Rapping 的发源地。当我听说围棋约冠军巡回赛要来到这里时，感觉就像命中注定一样。
你有没有想过，如果我们拿了冠军会怎么样？非常的震撼。就首先就是我们能得到所有人的
Tahun depan Indo kali ya sih?
家乡，所有人
Indo nggak ya?
是有很多强劲的对手。
Asalnya Indo
围
gitu
棋约的
kayak.
选手们，他们不停的练习，他们在舞台上全力以赴，就像音乐人一样。 感受上海的节奏和律动，这里中国嘻哈的发源地。
There's a rhythm to it. Valorant, it flows like music. We've come so many times.
Yes,
I have this
bro.
feeling about Shanghai. This could be our time. 我哥一直是我的榜样，多亏了他，我才能走到今天。
Riot ini kalau
我想
buat
在上海主
production
场拿
itu
下冠军
emang
让我
merinding coy.
你们感觉今晚如何？你们准备好了吗？让我们给 F 圈里一点尖叫声！都知道 VCT 要来上海了，对吗？今天晚上很特别，掌声给到毅力军！那没上班说好的对，张眼睛推了。
Eh,
The relationship between brothers is complicated.
Badah.
Gaming, and now in Valorant, I feel like I'm chasing him.
Yalah, brother.
Welcome. I'm proud that we are both here together.
Susanto Blood, gelo. Gelo, openingnya Gila. Walkout-nya tos-tosan anjir. Bisa tos-tosan, keren coy. Tapi kecil nggak sih? Ini mah kayak yang di Tokyo kemarin nggak sih ya? Iya benar, so.
In a fascinating matchup here between two squads that shockingly might have some familiarity with one another, given that Saya player used to play with the core
Let's go.
G2 lineup, and for G2 Esports,
Oke.
massive opportunity
Breeze,
for them to show that they belong
Icebox,
at the international
Lotus.
stage, but
Kenapa nggak
T1
di
and their
pick
former teammate
Lotusnya ya?
stands in their
Langsung.
way. You can see the maps as they're breaking down there. Our series layout: Breeze, Icebox, and
Oke.
if necessary, we'll be taking a trip over to Lotus.
Yeah, I'm very surprised, you know, because
Kenapa milih Breeze ya?
T1 have been banning throughout, like playoffs is a map that they do not feel very comfortable with, and they let it open for G2 to pick. We need to think if this is going to be a bait that they're just fighting into,
Yeah.
or if this is prepared. Breeze also makes a lot of sense for them. It's the map that they're, you know, have the most experience and the better results, let's say. So I am like the thing most surprising to me, at least, is definitely the Icebox.
Yeah, I think so too. As I look at these maps, I want to go back to a point that I made earlier in the show.
Let's go T1 yuk. Let's go. Biar ketemu di playoff gitu sama HyperX.
Deliver against a world-class duelist on the other side, to do so on the international stage for the very first time. I think there's a lot on the kid's shoulders, and again, for those who are G2 fans back at home, there's a lot to be excited about, because it seemed like the kid was on an upward trajectory, but this is the brightest stage he's ever played on, and I do think we've got to mention, man, that was on the screen a moment ago, Josh RT, head coach for G2. The amount of magic he's been able to pull out of this roster is so impressive, but he's going to have to pull the biggest rabbit out of his hat.
T1 udah pernah ke Master kan ya? Sabar guys, gue ngecek dulu.
Yeah, no, not at all. This
Mana
is
T1?
every matchup at this event is going to be pivotal. I think it goes without saying.
Udah deh.
But
Udah.
for this one in particular,
Belum,
I think
coy.
both teams really
Oh,
want
udah.
to prove
Tokyo.
that they belong here.
Posisinya
Yeah,
9.
especially for a player, for example, like
Posisi
X-Ray, right? Where we're
ke-9.
seeing him in the video, he became a pro
Kalah
here
sama
in
EDG.
China, like going back to
Terakhir
here to like his
2023.
roots, being able to compete and to take things again to the next level. Everything has to start here. I think that both of the teams have been in doubt in different situations, though, because as we said, T1 only won a couple of matches.
Mana nih gue prediksi nggak ada cok.
Be here, same as G2.
Gak usah lah.
Yeah, and of course we have our agent select here.
Izdu,
Jet.
Yoru,
And,
saya
we're gonna
player,
get ourselves
Jet,
some Yoru
oke,
action,
Secret
no surprise
Harbor
there.
pastinya.
Viper's still very much gonna be in play.
Oke.
As you mentioned, Doug, at this point,
Kayak lagi
right,
meta
there's
deh
no
ya.
reason to go off of it, but it is gonna
Meta
be
Yoru
fascinating
di
to see
Breeze.
how those changes affect the play, you know?
Yeah, I'm most curious about how they're scoring up that with the
Dua smoker nggak ada
on both sides.
wait,
I
wait.
think
Nggak ada
Harbor on the
sentinel
side
anjir.
makes a lot of sense. I personally really love Harbor. A good Harbor is so miserable to play against. Astra on the other side, I think for Valen, it allows him to call from that role a bit more comfortably, you know. But again, Icy has to deliver against a double duelist comp on the other side, where you're going to get fake TPs, you're going to get flashes in through the jet smokes, and then Saya's there.
That's another question that I had. Is he going to stick to the Astra? Is he going to go, you know, back to the Harbor? What are they going to do? I think that especially with the showings that we've had across the globe, Astra is a very, very strong pick and has a lot of combos with Yoru.
This is going to be awesome. It's now time to dive into our first match of Masters Shanghai. And let's go ahead and send it over to your casters now that we're on their side of the world. I think they're feeling a little bit better. It's Achilles and Paper Thin.
Thank you very much, GB. Yes, it is excellent to be here. No jet lag and just all the great food, all the great fans. This venue already, the games haven't started. It's already electric, but welcome everybody. The opening series here of Masters Shanghai. I'm Achilles. This is Paper Thin, and we will be guiding you through this first series.
Selamat datang di VCT Master Shanghai. Kegedean anjir.
Who comes out on top as we open things up with this pistol round.
Yeah, this has been the side of the map where T1 has been really explosive. The two times they played.
Sorry guys, kegedean.
They've beaten Genji and DRX on this map so far this year. 8-4 on both of their attacker side. So definitely want to make a statement here against G2. You got Rossi creeping up the mid door. It's been read pretty well by Icy. No damage done just yet.
Rossi creeping forward, missing the timing there as Icy gets himself in behind yellow, but manages to strike.
Rossi.
Down, but Icy
Nice shot.
respond. Both Vipers now out of the equation. See how they fare as Recon darts going to be exchanged.
Nice, Saya player.
With another headshot, puts Icy down. That Yoru, that duel is now taken out of the equation here for the side of G2.
Nice.
Good answering fire, the fine Saya player. Carpe now going to be eliminated as well.
Coy.
As it's just X-Curate. The new IGL here for the side of T1 pulls back.
Oh,
Some
timing.
decent timing there, drifting away. Pink's coming down, trying to suss out where exactly he is. He's swinging around the backside here, up pyramid, looking for the catch.
Nice.
To find the headshot. Wall now going to be going across. Tap onto the spike, a retap coming through. He closes the distance, the gap a little bit more here in this. As Valen swings out, he will be able to take him down. Time is there. The pistol will
Tadi
be
udah
G2.
bagus banget
Yeah, and who else
anjir.
but Valen to come through and win that 1v1 for G2. He has been phenomenal for them so far this year. On this map in particular, does a great job, not just with his shooting, but setting up his teammates with that Astra utility. I particularly watch some of the A-main, aggressive A-main plays with Icy, but we know how good Valen is in situations like this. He's been so good all year. Top fragger for this team, and just showing you why right there. Cool as a cucumber, and now only a little bit of investment for T1. A Marshall Saya player loves to grab that, even in the eco rounds. Sheriff's going to be for X-Curate, and Izu, it looks like. Outlaw going to be in play for Icy, some Bulldogs and a Guardian. Let's see what T1 can do, if anything, on this round.
Looking to push forward. Smoke going to be coming through. There's a little recon. Getting the tag there onto Izu, who looks to make his exit.
Low banget itu anjir.
A lot of
Carpe.
connecting over onto Carpe, so he's
1
going to be
HP.
whittled down now to 30 health. Not the most comfortable position to be in. Is Trent just going to be sending out the drone here through those double doors, peeking in towards mid, but nothing spotted. Sai, in the meantime, has gotten himself on a fairly deep line, working his way all the way up hall.
This is something that he loves to do. He loves to get aggressive down this hall with this Marshall.
Aduh, ingetnya salah, aduh.
Dash popped, and Trent just waiting behind. Just pushes right into his crosshair. Trent, an easy opening kill found. Just slow creeping their way up now. Here onto the side. Looking for the clear out, but Gun going to be spotted. Izu going to be taken down. X-Curate still staying stuck here. Trying to see if he can come up with a surprising kill.
Nice!
Back to back. Comes
Nice,
up with
nice.
2 quick eliminations. Grabs the gun, but that shock dart is absolutely devastating. Second one lobbed in. That one not finding damage, but look at the HP bars here for the side of T1. 30 on Carpe, 25 on Rossi, and 46 on X-Curate. Just about any damage from any of these guns will be able to take them down. Spike still not yet planted. Wall coming up to try to buy them a little bit of extra space. X-Curate wanting to try to get that.
Nice.
Manages the transfer yet again.
Ace.
Absolutely astounding as X-Curate gets himself an ace in the second round of action.
Gacor, boy.
Triumphant return to Shanghai for X-Curate. This is where he made his start in esports with Tai Lu back in the day.
Yang ngeflicknya,
And he
Cok.
has lit Shanghai on fire. Unbelievable.
Gila. It's pertama lo langsung ace.
Still, yes, spending a little bit of cash, having those shares, having that Marshall. Marshall doesn't get anything done, but X-Curate, he just takes it into his own hands, and yeah, he's already back on his feet. Crowd saying, welcome home.
Unbelievable. I mean, that's gotta feel great.
Bentar guys, gua reload dulu.
Electric, and they are definitely in his corner for sure. Now the buy.
Ooh, Izu, I think, yeah, not quite spotting it there on that jiggle. The punish cannot be there. Sai unable to counter swing in time. Good opening kill found here from the side of G2.
Look at this. X-Curate's got that reckoning here. So both of these teams actually pretty quick to get plants down. They like to be fairly aggressive in nature on their attacker side. But for now, T1 spreading the map, trying to work through mid. There is a big stack here in elbow of G2 players.
Triple stack in elbow. As Valen just going to be waiting and see if they cross up, move their way over towards Nestor Tunnel. But instead, T1 are making the correct decision here as they work their way over. This site that has a lot less people occupying it. Wall going to be coming up. As Valen is able to find one. Rossi getting taken down, but Trent picked off.
Nice.
Trying to hold things over there in mid.
Aduh.
Going to be tucked away.
Keculik, Cok.
Now it's all on Saya player.
Aduh.
This might just be back-to-back.
Wah, thrifty dibalas thrifty, Cok.
Unreal. I mean, Saya was nuts on this map the last time they played it against Gen G, but he's going to have to come up huge here. Sheriff's abound for G2.
Time dwindling. They hear him. They're starting to encroach.
Aduh.
He's not sure if he's repositioned. Spots the Viper, but is going to have to stick this sooner or later.
Nice.
Quick little headshot, but now he's got to get this one down on the ground. Now he tries the challenge.
Yeah.
He tries to go the way of the fight, but he cannot find it. Leaf with 3 as G2 will get themselves a MasterCard Thrifty to just go ahead and swing themselves right back into
Thrifty
Unbelievable. I love
chokes.
this from G2. They're reading the map really well. They're reading the tendencies of T1 so efficiently. They're stacking in the places that T1 likes to maneuver early in the round. T1 really likes to take advantage of some of the open space in mid, in hall, things like that. And so far, G2 has been very, very aware of it. If it wasn't for that Excurate hero ace, this would be firmly in G2's control, it feels like. So let's see what T1 can do. Let's see if they could change things up, but they're back on quite a bit of an eco themselves. Still have that Reckoning to work with, but now you've got a couple else. You've got the Cosmic Divide, you've got the Neural Theft Relief.
Coming through as Icy just goes storming his way into shop. Mows down 2 very swiftly, so able to find 1, but Jonah will go ahead and collect the other 3. A very fast shutdown on that push here from G2, reading the map well. They work their way forward. 1 pop flash, 5 bodies on the floor.
Yeah, and this is something that G2 really likes to do here on this map is get aggressive into A main. Whether it be Valen, whether it be Icy, they can have a lot of different setups. That time even Jonah P getting involved with some of that Viper utility. Things like that are what make them really dangerous on this map. They're really confident to push out to, contest that orb, put some pressure down. Now let's see if everything's squared up economically. Finally, T1 can get some damage done. Here we go, Dimensional Drift in.
1 orb away here is Carpe for that Hunter's Fury. Does he scoop it up? Looks like so far, no. Doesn't have that to try to couple in with this, so for now it is just going to be a straight up scouting mission. 2 players going to be spotted here. The back yellow. Exits the portal, hit onto the door, tries to go for the flash. She actually eats that, as well as a bullet from Leaf. Izu taken down. A rough go of it here. Neural Theft now going to be invested. Saya at risk, has to try to reposition. As that is going to be Harbor Alt coming through now to try to slow up the approach. That timing, swinging on that corner. Immediately, Valen clean with a headshot. Carpe gets taken down. Rossi trying to hold. He's only good for 1. And now it is all an Excurate. Once again, this time a 1v3. Time ticking on his side. Can he nail the shots? Can he shut them down? He's spotted a pixel out of place. Catches 1. Icy will be able to get him in the head. Kills coming. But they still pass it over to Leaf to make sure he can try to get that next Neural Theft. And they will go ahead and now move up 4-1.
And you're seeing one of the things that's been the calling cards of G2 so far this year is their teamwork. Their ability to swing at the right time in the right positions. You know, getting that Neural Theft there, getting the information, able to make
nice banget anjir Leaf.
for themselves.
Si Leaf ini.
They know he's right there. They're able to get right on top of Saya after that second ping of the theft. And even with that Harbor Alt there, they're going to swing right past it. And immediately, timeout's going to have to come from T1. They're getting read pretty well here. The pace is going to be pretty quick in this match, something that I alluded to earlier, but actually when I was looking through the stats, I was even a bit surprised by this, that both of these teams on their attacker side, the majority of their plants come before 1 minute. So they really do push the pace when it comes to this side of the map. You know, T1, you can already feel it. They want to get there, they want to get that plant done, they want to get into post plants. And especially against G2, that's been something they've been weak at, actually, coming into this stages. Their post plants can be a little bit shaky when it comes to retakes, so definitely something you want to try to take advantage of, but so far they're getting cut down kind of in the process of getting to those positions.
And one of the big things that allows you to get those plants in so quickly, to be able to take these sites and just cause chaos, is that Yoru. But right now we're not seeing that impact there from Izu. Ult comes out, he's able to spot 2 players around the back, but you know, the util, it's still a little bit off, gets that full flash on himself as he tries to swing the corner, gets taken down by the headshot from Leaf. So things a bit disjointed. Izu currently not on the board. See how that can change, because he's had his moments, he's had his ups and downs throughout the Pacific stages. You don't want to be seeing that more downtrending Izu performance coming into Master Shanghai because of how important these wins all are. If you can get those 2 here in Swiss, you're sitting pretty, but having that 1 loss, having only 1 more series, that blanket, it's not good, but now Knives out. Rush forward, Icy going to be taken down, but Saya player traded out. 1-for-1 in that exchange.
Izu,
trying to take some presence up here in mid. Trent over at Nest manages to strike him down. So now the man advantage here for the side of G2.
It looks like G2 is falling back, gonna give up a little bit of space. Try to cut off any rotates if they can see them with that Viper's Pit down in the front of A main. Posted up at the beginning of the round. They have a pretty good idea. This is gonna be B. They haven't felt any pressure through mid or anything like that. Damage gonna be done.
Nice, Carpe.
Did a readjustment. Knows where Trent was at, but
Aduh, samping-sampingan sama Valin.
In a very committed position at the moment here.
Like
to have that potentially for the post plant, but also you do have Jonah.
Aduh, Carpe ngapain sih anjir?
Working his way up. Have a nice long sideline there in window, but now Xcurate going to be taken down. Rossi, last one standing. A little bit whippy there on the opening shot. Unable to find the instant punish, and now it's taken down to 1 HP. They're just sending everything at him, running their way forward. They know that he's low. They know that he's just basically dead to rights. And that will be G2. Not allowing for T1 to get a victory after the timeout. They'll continue on their merry way, now up by 4 rounds.
Yeah, and off the rip of this round, one of those trap plays from Valorant and company that I love to see with the Astra to try to use something like the Nebula to get in there, do some damage. Valorant gonna hold back here. Again, I love the patience that we're seeing from G2. Give them a little bit of space and hit them as they try to get settled in for these post plants. Very nicely done. You know, Saya only gets one with that Blade Storm. You're keeping him checked. That's going to be a huge part of this. But now Saya is going to be able to invest into that operator. This is one of the things that a lot of teams in Pacific talk to me about this T1 squad is they are an op squad. If you can shut them down in that op-v-op battle with Icy having it for the side of G2, that's where they really can struggle. That's been part of the reason that consistency has been a problem for T1. Eventually teams started to kind of be able to isolate and knock down the operator players, whether it be Saya or Xcurate.
Much slower here from T1. The pacey plays haven't been working out for them with an operator in the mix as well. Slowly inch forward, trying to get map control where possible. Trent spotting onto Izu there, but Dart not able to connect. Icy says, all right, just gonna go ahead, put the mask on, go sprinting forward with the dimensional drift. I mean, he's just seeing so many players at the moment, but he's not playing close enough for them to get the sense that he's actually here on top of him now. Hunter's very opened up. Xcurate taken down. Final shot, able to get the tag as well, and there's the finisher. A side player will fall. Leaf coming up with that kill. Izu finally able to find a kill here. Knows that that's going to be the fake out. Pushing towards him. The dink in. Now can he get the third?
Nice Izu, nice Izu, nice Izu.
Izu starting to come alive. Comes up with 3, and now Jonah going to be noted here.
Nice. Izu. Gokil.
Absolutely felt. T1 will now get themselves a second round win.
Ketenangan.
Huge win for T1, especially with both ults invested, with the op coming into play as well. That's a massive economic loss for G2. I love this play though. The dimensional drift. Wait for them to get into the tube and then send the Hunter's Fury down through that choke point. That's a brilliant setup from G2. It's just finally Izu able to get some damage done with this Yoru. Push base towards the arches. A little bit of encouragement there from the IGL of T1. Xcurate gonna maybe push in a little bit further. Well, as is as well.
It was a slow round. Now there's no more op, so let's go for a pacey hit. Dimensional drift here from Izu. Hunter's Fury still available here from Carpe. Staying sat back in shop, but no one being spotted. Everyone now widely drifting their way, getting ready to rotate across through spawn. Carpe maybe sussing this out. It's going to start hearing some of these footsteps, but can he hold the line? Catches the first one.
Nice.
Swing in from Jonah, shut down. Carpe still suspecting a
Ayo,
third
Carpe.
final player. Now sees the shoulder. Valin.
Nice banget Carpe. Duh, ketahuan dong senjatanya.
Trent now creeping his way up through double door.
Aduh, timing.
Catching a glimpse. Trent, however, catching a headshot there onto Xcurate. Does manage to find one. The 2v4 still very much stacked against him.
Nice Carpe. S ngasih S.
Maybe give us a second ace. Icy gonna start drifting away. As the audience starts chanting for it, but it doesn't seem like Icy's gonna really try to give him the opportunity. But they want this gun out of his hands, and they will take it from him. Saya player to find the final one there. Is T1 clawing their way back a bit. Gap now cut in half.
Yeah, this is good awareness here from T1. G2's really been spreading the map, but we haven't seen a lurk like this quite yet, especially a 3-man lurk. G2 loves their lurks, though. That's something you absolutely have to be aware of. So credit to T1 that so far that card hadn't been shown from G2 thus yet, but they were very ready for it. And Carpe, fantastic with his aim. You know, he's been talking about it in some of his press interviews that even though he's not the IGL anymore, it's kind of a win-win for this team. You know, Xcurate used to be an IGL in his days back with Ty Lu, and now it's opened him up to be a bit more of a fragger, a bit more focused on his aim. They're looking for an entry into the A side. Oh no.
Oh, Icy catching the fake there. As Jonah will
nice
be down. Izu able to get on top of that Viper. It takes him down. Mystery across, otherwise not finding any other connections. With the walls raised, you can tell G2, no idea of what's really happening here in the side. Flash coming in, side player taking space. With that
Nice
big reveal, notes him, and that should just about try to send them packing. Valen now last one alive. Leaf cut down as he tries to exit. Valen, does he try the challenge here? I mean, cash aplenty on the side of T1. Looks like he will just try to rotate out, and he can't quite
nice
reset that spray.
Bisa ini menang ini T1, cok.
Another round win. T1 now, there's one round separating them here from G2.
Yeah, it's a beautiful execute here from T1. You know, they are able to get past the player that's hiding in the corner. Carpe gets the spot. Got the TP in behind the toxic screen with the Hunter's Fury to set this up as well. Some good flashes, some good util from Carpe to allow Izu and Saya player to really push space. And that's something that this T1 squad needs to be doing with this double duelist setup. They need to be getting into the back lines of G2 and causing chaos.
Again, Izu just going to be gathering up these orbs. TP's back across the opposite side. Saya, once again, trying to take some space here, working his way forward. Trent on the opposite side, lingering just at the bridge. But he has that Sheriff. We've already seen, very much so, how much damage these Sheriffs can get. But Trent now starting to push his way forward. Saya, right up here alongside him, has the dash at the ready. The challenge. And that is going to be a weapon donated over to Trent.
Kenapa sih?
Pass that over to somebody who's a bit healthier here on the team.
Dapat kan dia Vandal, cok.
For himself. We'll see what happens though, but for now T1 getting ready to attack over here onto this B side. Valen playing close, not going to be caught by that, but Xcurt reads the position beautifully, just sprays through the smoke.
Masa thrifty,
that one, but Leaf with another headshot. Does shut down Izu. So kills still being found, but Rossi able to go ahead and displace the site for now. Rest of that util not having to be respected whatsoever as Trent has gotten himself over to half wall. Try to see if he can deal some damage. Still does have that Vandal in hand. Everybody is just going to be getting tucked back over here.
Excellent awareness from Xcurt to at least get this into an even situation.
Nice.
And they're just gone.
Everybody let's just go around the back site. Let's just double face and let's just kill them all.
Gue lapar lagi nih.
Unbelievable. I thought that might take a little bit longer, but goodness gracious. I mean, I love what I'm seeing from
Time-out kan?
I'm not so sure about this challenge from Saya, but you know, okay, so be it. We're able to get there, get the plant down, get the win. You know, you gotta take those moments as a duelist. You gotta have that confidence to be able to go in there and try to make those plays, especially against the Sheriff. You don't win at that time, so what? As a coach, you shouldn't be hurt by that. You shouldn't be mad at your players because you want to see that ego in the server. You want to see them coming in there and challenging this team, especially in economic advantageous situations.
Sure. I mean, obviously you want your players to be feeling confident. So it's just about, you know, putting the leash on every now and then, shortening that by a couple feet perhaps. Take a couple of feet off that leash, he doesn't get out the door to challenge there against Trent. So we'll see. The timeout call, though, of course, from G2. Looking to pump the brakes now that T1 have been able to run back multiple rounds in a row to once again tie us up. They want to go ahead and course correct on this defender side for the rest of it. We only have 2 more rounds to be played out.
And some of these things that G2 did early on are now being identified and addressed by T1 very quickly. So, you know, the timeout didn't work immediately for T1, but eventually it got there. And again, Xcurt reading these tucked cubby positions that G2 is taking. Things like that are going to be so key right now for T1. If they're going to come through here positive in the scoreline, again, attacker side really is where T1 typically does their damage on this match. Valen, thinking about contesting, but that cascade, I mean, there's no ambiguity about this.
No, there is not. They're just making all the noise in the world. Just looking to rush them down. He tucks into the corner, though. The flash expiring. Izu, a very nice little 180. Has managed to turn around and stop them from suffering even more losses, but now Leaf here alongside the wall. Guns down 2, sends in the ult. Rossi trying to take space here on that B site. Does note Leaf over in Nest. Now 2v3 to try to close this out. Just get themselves situated. The plant now able to come in. Shock Dart just to go ahead and clear the camera. He knows it's somewhere over there. I don't have time to try to fish for it with my bullets.
In that general vicinity.
Throw now over the top. See if you can spot anybody playing close, but G2 hanging back far enough that they don't give anything over to Carpe. Still does have the recon, but so too does Trent, as well as double shotguns to try to clear some angles. Mike comes down. He tries to play this out quietly. Rossi just shoots through, managing to find that, but Trent with a little bit of a fadeaway shot comes up with that one. Carpe,
Aduh, Carpe, cok.
Didn't have the gun ready. And he does eventually fall. The timeout for G2 works a treat as they will get themselves
makan guys, makan.
And this time G2's like, okay, we're going to set up not just one trap in a ratty position, we're going to do two. Good luck guessing that we're going to do that twice in a row. Leaf with just a brilliant position, playing the anti-flash nicely, and then gets that neural theft. Makes it a lot more comfortable here on this retake, able to come from a couple different angles. And Rossi with a good prediction there, has a snake bite, hits the headshot, reads the timing of G2 very nicely. It's just they get the info off the back of the Sova utility, and then they can just swarm in, take care of Carpe. Well, nicely done. Izu does have that dimensional drift.
Expecting to see, you know, a take on the orb here. Extra just one away from having that reckoning ready to go. Sova will go ahead and grab that, but does he just send it off the rip? Hunter's Fury to try to open things here as Trent sat back at Pyramids looking for the kill, and now that reckoning, it doesn't matter! Excurate, dead, Carpe out of there! Is Izu just scouting and having to wonder, how do I get myself out of this situation? Rossi now dead, tries to go for the short.
Nggak jelas, sumpah. Eksekusinya nggak jelas.
Saya now all on his lonesome.
Mana keculik.
Leading a 1v5
Dua
ace
orang
clutch.
kena ultinya si Sova.
Between these two teams at the half, but right now it looks like G2, they have secured themselves that lead. Dart does connect. Saya whittle away. There's a push forward, a 4K here for Trent, a flawless round to end the half for G2.
You gotta love what you saw from both these teams. Great adjustments on both sides throughout that half.
Absolutely fantastic action here from G2. Good restabilization, but still one time out of piece between both of these squads. We're going to go ahead and send this over to the analyst desk so to break down the action for the first half.
Nasi pun nggak begitu enak anjir.
All right. What a way to start things off, honestly. You thought the G2 were going to just roll this, but turns out, Kukuka, not the case. Obviously, T1, they're here for a reason. They proved why.
Oh, yeah, exactly. After that first start, I mean, some shaky rounds here and there, back and forth with this pistol round, and then what happened after, and then afterwards, I think that G2 came with a very clear idea of how they wanted to play this first half. A lot of set plays at the beginning of the round, trying to disrupt much of what T1 was doing. But T1, you know, just said, let's do it faster. Let's just go a little bit further.
Yeah. It felt like every single team, both teams had an opportunity to crumble at multiple times throughout that half, and all of them showed resiliency. Remember, G2 gets ecoed in the second round, and then G2 goes up 5-1, and then you think, okay, T1's gonna fold. They bounce back to get it to 5-5 because Extra is popping off, and then G2 are able to stabilize at the end.
Yeah.
On a big international stage like this, the pressure to crumble is outrageous, and both of them weathered it well.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, speaking of weathering it well, I mean, Extra there with this wild high-speed moment courtesy of Ryzen gets the ace. Now, for a moment there, Kukuka, this was the only round that they had won, but what a hell of a round to win. I don't even know how he hit that second shot. That was insane.
For a very long moment, we have to say. And not only that, Izu also had to have a hero play for them to get the second one, even the third one. You know, they required a little bit of this individual moments to shine, to get the rounds on the board. But yeah, love to see him celebrate, because what a way to turn things around. Still, you know, wasn't the best after that, but hey, they managed to turn it around. I think that it looks great.
One thing you can say for certain, though, is that T1, they have done their homework on what G2 likes to do, and they have been catching them off guard with that. Now it's time to see with the sides flipped how this all plays out. We're going to send it back over to Achilleos and Paperthin.
Thank you very much, Desk. Yes, let's see how the rest of this one does shake out. Some signs of life there from T1, but a decent little rally back at the end from G2 to make sure that they weren't going to be at a disadvantage, make sure they're not going to be tied up. So now that they've secured themselves a lead, let's see how they fare moving over onto the attack side. Rossi already spotted there on that shoulder peak. Just for now, slow going, just unable to push forward there because of the pipe, but Izu getting the shutdown onto Icy as he tries to entry. Now the flash coming through, but it's a little bit overcooked. This get taken down, deals some decent damage here. The rest of T1 start getting corralled over towards this B site, looking to have them surrounded.
Maybe just a little overambitious from Izu, but here we go. Rossi trying to lock down the back of the pillar.
Leaf ready to push up, but Rossi misjudging his position. If he gets taken down, Leaf able to find two. Looking for that transfer over onto Carpe, unable to find that kill, but now Carpe all on his lonesome.
Carpe, santai, chill, calm down.
Now starting to come through, but all the util has been used. Sent out that shock dart earlier on. Recon does get the ping. There's it, looks to reposition. They're looking at the double face. There's the jump peek.
Nice.
One, taking him down. Gets the reveal out on the Leaf as well. Basically needs the headshot.
Oh.
Giving it to him.
Udah di swing.
Cuts across, gets himself behind the pillar, and just looks to buy some time.
No.
Starting to rotate, and he's good for it. Another 3K from Leaf. Feels like maybe the fourth one he's had so far of this map. To go ahead and get G2 the pistol round win.
Yeah, I mean, Valen as the IGL is that fragging IGL, but Leaf, the former duelist for C9, has been an absolute just beautiful pickup for this team because he's been so good on Sentinels. He's so sturdy on the defender side. He's got great instincts. He can take contact so well because of that duelist nature that's built into him. And of course, in situations like this, Valen was good for it last time. This time it's Leaf. Carpe wanted it. Of course, just couldn't quite get there. And once again, a pistol going G2's way. Really trying to grab an early kill and to get the spot in the finish.
Just another one right through the cyber cage. Unbelievable. As well, Extra taken down. Leaf just taking a lot of forward space. And he's going to take another life as Carpe will also fall. It's one of the sheriffs now taken out of the equation as Rossi will finally be able to put him down. Bring that reign of terror to an end, but he does eat quite a bit of damage. And now we have G2 working their way across over towards B. Side player with a good sense of this, gets himself in position for maybe a punish, but instead we'll just hear those footsteps, I do believe. Just right on the edge of that audio range, but that leaves now all of the work to be done on Izu's shoulders. Flash timing is looking great, and he goes ahead and shoots, gives away his position. Now they start looking for the push, and they will very swiftly be able to flush him out. Saya working his way forward, is not ready for Valen to be lingering here in main. The plant coming through, Rossi, just to see if he could try to deal any additional damage here. Get any charge towards that pit. G2 are looking very well poised. Just go ahead and move up 9-5.
Yeah, I mean, the teamwork is so good from G2 so far today. They're really trading off of each other well. They're playing their positions perfectly. The util combos are looking great there. The flash into the recon to make sure they get the spot onto the player on site here on B. These are the things that when G2 is really clicking together, when they're really in sync, makes them such a scary team. And it should be just Rossi going down to the spike at this point, but already getting very dire for T1. Again, the attacker side, usually where they do so much of their damage. They've only played this map twice so far in stage 1. One time they started on the defender side, they were 5-7. That was against DRX, and against Gen G, they went 5-3 on their defender side and ended the map to qualify for this event, in fact. But it's been a little bit shakier, whereas, you know, G2 is pretty even-keeled on this map. They're pretty much about even when it comes to both sides of the map, so could go either way, but losing that pistol is really brutal. And the eco as well this time, since T1 couldn't clap back.
Look at this. I mean, the Outlaw coming through from Leaf. He knows that most of them are going to be on half armors. Just don't have the cash to try to buy up because of the Sheriff investment, so he is looking to take full advantage of that. T1, though, double push out from the Duelist, and there it is! Huge. Pekhov's gun, it does strike.
Ketahuan dong saya
dead.
player.
Another kill found. Saya trying to swing out as the reveal comes through off that rail theft.
GG lah, GG.
It's going to be good for one, but now in a 2v4, the remaining members of T1 might just have to make the call to save. A drone rushing forward, looking here for Excurate. Just sat back orange, hoping to see if he could try to make something happen. Creeps up, nothing spotted here. But now the Nebula there to go ahead and just cut off vision as Trent makes his exit back over into shop. 3 players that he would have to try to mow down. The join in coming through as Rossi makes his way over, but Excurate already going to be spotted. Dead. Leaf. Oh, he knows exactly where the Viper is as well. Rossi suspicious about this position. See if he can actually get away with his life, retain this weapon, or if Leaf will take it from him. And yeah, it's going to be the latter. He's been so damn clean with it this whole match so far. It's now 10-5. Bonus is converted.
Unbelievable. They're so clean right now. Like you said, the Outlaw paying dividends. out the rip. He loves this gun. He uses it all the time over in Americas. They're just catching players with that neural theft, that early kill stack that Leaf was able to get. Gets him into that neural theft early. Even Josh can't believe it.
Just a wow. And hey, I mean, you know, not much else to be said right now. The team is in such a strong position here on T1's map pick. So I think WoW basically covers it all. So timeout called here from T1. Last one that they're investing. They were able to go on a bit of a streak in that first half, but attacking versus defending, it's a very different ball game.
It's tricky to defend on this map. There's a lot of angles you have to account for, a lot of open space to deal with, and a lot of times people are going to talk about this as the shooter's map, and right now T1 does look a little bit shaky. They had that streak in there where they got a little bit hot, but aim seems a little bit off at times for them. Some of the players haven't been able to find their groove, really, it seems like. You know, Izu had a big round, but then he's been relatively quiet. Xcurate, yeah, he had the ace. He had a couple other pretty good rounds. But other than that, it's been a little slow going in terms of that firepower, in terms of that impact that you feel like this T1 squad is capable of bringing. But so far, frankly, in stage 1 Achilleos, they've been kind of shaky. They've been kind of up and down. Consistency has been the biggest critique of this team so far.
Still, investment coming through. Guardian in the hands of Saya player. It's not like he's very close to having that Bladestorm online either. This could certainly hurt quite a bit as swing out. Izu trying to find that shot, and then the counter swing in. Micey has managed to find that kill, but Valen down to 3 HP. Still decent damage dealt there from Izu. Spots at least 2 players over towards this B side of the map as well, so some information to try to play around with. And it looks like widely to make the call to start pivoting Carpe and Saya to go over and reinforce Rossi's spot.
Yeah, it's just hard to read exactly what G2 wants to do. They're pretty active on the map. They're going to bait out some utility. They're going to look for picks early and then potentially rotate off of that. So you got to be very, very aware. A lot of util to try to slow this up. Icy is going to TP in, go for the flash.
TP in around the back. Rossi still going to be sat here trying to hold things over at main. Does end up falling, but Carpe going to be good for 1. Flash coming through. Carpe unable to find a second. Player will also fall that Guardian, not getting any damage dealt. Xcrit now, last one alive. It might just be similar scenes of him tucking away and trying to die to the spike.
Just not much that he can do at this point. Exit frags would be nice. Just trying to remember, okay, how did they leave the site last time? See if I can find a way to cut that off. A little bit of util available for him, but nothing that will likely make too big of a difference, as G2 actually looks to be exiting towards the B main side of things, so will not be crossing paths with Xcurate just yet, although, take it back, Leaf and Icy coming through arches. There's a world where maybe there's contact here. TP going in.
The TP just in case he starts getting caught, or never mind. We'll just be the fake TP. Trying to bait him, and oh boy. Well, 11-5.
Niat na nyulik tapi keculik.
11-5, G2 out in front.
Dapat ARP 1 lumayan ya guys.
Impact there at the end. It would have been great for Xcurate, but not coming through. It seems like he just wasn't even ready for them to be in that position either.
Yeah, it feels like maybe he had kind of just expected them to fully leave and not give him even the attempt at any of those exit frags, but instead they go for it and they get it. So you gotta like what G2 is doing. Confidence has to be flowing right now. 20-7 is Leaf. He is having just an unbelievable map, having so much impact with his guns. Those neural thefts have been huge for them to set up some big plays. That's a spot.
The spot was there, but TP was taken out, so he's not in position to get caught, but now with the dimensional drift in play, Icy checking out the entire site. Hasn't quite spotted Rossi just yet, I do believe. Rossi trying to inch forward there. Sit on that bite a little bit. They're going to need some damage. They catch onto them, managing to find one, but Leaf turns back, finds himself a single elimination. Slow things up. Hunter's Fury going across.
Valentino Rossi, why?
So a little bit of damage dealt. They managed to slow them down here, prevent the plant for the time being, but still retaking this site is going to prove to be incredibly difficult for T1. A lot of their utility burned. Xcurate still has all of theirs, but now there's a pit in play.
This is going to be so difficult. You still have a recon dart. You could try to clear this pit, but it's going to be challenging.
The wall comes up, but Everybody is just still playing here within the site itself. Aside from Trent, who gets himself tucked back, playing on that long angle. Spray coming through. Nice double reveal off the recon. Knows that they're going to be here. Tries to go the first tiny, but Extra gets caught by it. Saya able to find one, Carpe the other. Jonah at 72. Pit still Ray. Shock dart now. Getting lobbed in. Jonah
nice.
By Carpe. Pit has now fallen. And Trent has to try to hold this, but he cannot.
Gila. Bisa menang, Cok.
Coming in, they do pass this over to Saya player to go ahead and get the knives online.
Masa
So he
ya
does
harus
have that
kayak
blade
gitu
storm,
terus
but
sih, Cok.
a nail biter round win here for T1. Themselves, they're first in the second half.
And it's Carpe's utility that really does this for them. That recon that spots the two in the corner, and then the shock dart to clear the Viper. That's the round right there. And then they have a great advantage against Valen over at window in a 2v1. This is just fantastic stuff from him. I mean, he's had a couple great moments, some good utility.
Now,
and then, more than ever, T1 needed it right there, right now, because this match was looking like it was done and dusted.
It's still a very long road to try to run this back, and there is so much money available to G2. Pop flash out of the smoke. Instant headshot, Icy. Shutting down Izu. Drone now leading its way forward through double doors. Quite at the ready to try to flush out of that back pyramid spot. Recon up over the top. Not going to be catching anyone, though.
I think that snake bite might have clipped the lip of the door.
Nice. Udah, santai.
Damage found, but now multiple players out in mid, so he has to back away. Doesn't overcommit, doesn't overheat. Manages to pull back, keep himself nice and healthy. As Leaf just looks to continue inching his way forward. It looks like T1 aware that somebody might have slipped the net, that they might have gotten into a deeper position, so they're worried about this push through halls. They're worried about this position over a nest. And there it is. Jonah able to find one, but Rossi quick to reply. Shuts it down, keeps them now at a 3v3, but the A site has been completely evacuated by T1, so it's there for the taking for G2.
Well, I like what T1 does here. They're making sure that there isn't going to be any players that are lurking, that they have to account for. Hopefully, and a great shot from Saya. Oh my.
To give them now the advantage, and already a lot of damage had been done. Find one. Worried about that dashboard, so Excure just comes in behind. His attention fully paid over towards doors by that jet. Valen now fragging IGL. Can he find two in him? As there's the cove, breaks it, reveals his position, tries to cut back around to the front of the pyramid, but it's just being stuck. Swings in, tries to clear him off, but Saya will be able to take him down. The defuse comes through. And T1 now get themselves up to 7.
Oh, it's huge now. Saya's starting to come up with some snappy shots against his former teammates, hitting some big ones. T1, keeping him in this, and good diligence here from T1 to make sure that this lurking player is accounted for. Once they clear that Viper out, they're like, yeah, okay, we should be able to kind of safely set up, come from a couple different angles. It helps when Saya's winning a battle like that. Now, he had full armor, so even if he gets hit by the Outlaw, he's down to 10, but that could have really changed the ending of that round, potentially. Then just one stray shot from Valen or something might have been able to set this to match point, but instead, T1 trying to claw back. They've got a couple ults, they've got the Dimensional Drift, they've got the Reckoning, they've got some tools to use, but so does G2. They've got the Cosmic Divide, they've got the Neural Theft, they've got the Hunter's Fury. They could really set up some cool combos here. Leaf is just too good today.
This map, it belongs to him. There's another Neural Theft. I don't know how many he's already used here in this series, but I mean, Hunter's Fury, instead of trying to set up for Trent, but Leaf is just killing everyone. 3 more. Does he get the 4th? Of course he does. He is unstoppable. Saya tries to go for the challenge, but he cannot. It's another ace, this time at the hands of
Lagi
G2.
gacor anjir, Leo. Flip
He's
ini.
unreal. He's unstoppable. It's just crazy. I mean,
gacor.
Hunter's Fury's off the Neural Theft. Who cares? Leaf just needs the Neural Theft for himself. This is just disgusting. What an adjustment there. Sees the ping. Easy money. Goodness gracious, what a round.
And the only positive to come out of this is that the Hunter's Fury, the only positive for T1 is that the Hunter's Fury was used and it didn't get any value. That's it. Otherwise, the round is a complete wash. G2 are now up to map point. And T1 need to win 5 consecutively just to try to force out overtime. Excure taking a peek over here. It's going to draw that Reckoning, trying to slow things up. But G2, they're still spread. They're playing the map still. They're not committing to any one site.
Oh, I love this.
Alala. Ay! Ngapain sih?
Timing indeed. Word that somebody who's going to try to slowly creep their way forward into that pit, take a little bit of space. Saya gets caught unawares.
Yeah.
Dimensional drift here from Izu, just looking to try to spot out a couple players, but he's running the clock down low, and he's going to have to try to back away. So does get himself over towards window. Excurrent with a nice timing. Creeps out and does find Leaf. With the Cypher gone, maybe T1 can actually win the round.
Well, they've got him pretty well trapped in mid. There's a pretty good surround here for the side of T1. Just are they going to be able to win some of these crucial 1v1s? Somehow Excurrent does.
I mean, that's a huge one, but he himself takes so much damage. He's down to 1 HP. So is barely still in this round. Carpe with a deep peek out, though. Checks over, doesn't see anything, so they can start to really suspect that this is going to be that B-side hit, but getting over towards that site there for them, it's going to take a while.
Right here.
Recon at the ready. Izu playing close. It needs to be huge. Turns on the flashes, able to pick the right one. Finds Icy Excurrent.
No time. Nice.
Find that kill. With Valorant falling at the end. It's a good shutdown. 3 players staying
Anjir,
alive.
masih ada duit dia,
But
cok.
not quite being able to be recovered there
Masih
for
kaya.
Elsie, so it's going to be carrying over Stinger and will have to reinvest. But a much needed round win as they hold
Masih
on
kaya
by a
7
thread.
turunan anjir.
And just a little bit of shakiness from Team 1 and kind of anticipating the timings of when G2 could rotate back off of that reckoning. You know, it was popped really early there by Excurrent, and Saya just kind of didn't anticipate that they would just not really push it at all and kind of fall back, and he got caught in a position where he didn't really anticipate fast enough that they'd be coming from their spawn, but it is what it is.
Anjir, berani banget itu si Leaf.
Everybody else just kind of leaving him on this island, and it's been more than enough for him. Been able to just dominate rounds completely.
Gua tahu ini skema si kampret ini si Leaf nih.
2 kills away from dropping 30 in this opening series.
Feels like it's a 6v5 with the way Leaf is playing right now.
Drone across up through mid.
Oh, enggak ding.
Nothing to be spotted. It's Carpet just jiggling out, trying to maintain that Hull's control, but Excurrent getting ready to receive the brunt of G2 over here at A. Sets up the wall in advance.
Oh, nice.
Recon getting a ping out onto 1. Just going to be drifting back. Look at them maybe join in with the rest of the team over at shop.
Should have a pretty good idea that mid is clear, so...
That concuss. It does manage to connect, but he does avoid the grab well. Looking for the flash through. Should have been spotted. He pulls back, takes a little bit of damage here, does Excurrent. Viper wall goes down. He looks for the challenge. Manages to come away with one, somehow gets out with the slide. No, he does not. Follow-up not going to be found. Icy taken down. So far, just a 1-for-1. Going to be now lurking so far forward here in the halls. I'm not sure if they're going to be prepared for this, and now the Cosmic Divide is also in play. Carpe just here alongside the wall. Tries to go in off that ping, but they're using it like bait.
GG.
Strikes. Rossi caught off guard, and there's the finisher. That'll put him down. And say, we'll let you get close, but not close enough for that overtime. G2 come away with the opening map victory here at Masters Shanghai, taking down T1's Breeze.
Just really great stuff from Leaf. I mean, obviously, an insane performance from him. 28 and 11 on the score line. Just absolutely ridiculous. But it's a lot of good teamwork things here that we saw even before Leaf even really started to pick it up.
Ya bro?
Well, we're just getting started. We still have an icebox on the horizon. See if T1 can rally back. We'll go to a quick little break. The analyst will break down the action from Breeze.
Halo Gajah Putih, gimana skripsianmu? Apakah kamu sudah sidang preview?
Not sure what sensitivity you perform best with? Are you constantly changing your sensitivity because you're missing? Introducing the Universal Sensitivity Finder in AIM Labs. Get real-time sensitivity recommendations. Keep track of the sensitivities you perform best with. Then bring it into your next ranked game and dominate. Now available in AIM Labs Plus.
Oh, gue tahu. Kemungkinan ya lawan kalahnya juga lah. Menang dari ini masuk sini. Ini 1-0, ini 0-1. Ntar bertarung lagi. Halo Om, susah nemuin pesen. Lu bom chat lah. Di bom
Red Bull
cok.
gives you wings.
Di bom chat. Pepe gitu.
Greatest to do it. I'm the fucking greatest.
Sorry banget nih gue nge-pick G2.
Twinkler and Orion's belts? I have no idea.
Ah.
A fantastic start here for G2. They take that.
Oh, Reda di buff.
And I got the coach Josh RT here with me.
Reda main boy.
Finals Americas and this event was pretty tight. So what was been your main focus in terms of preparation to face a team like T1?
The main focus is just, first of all, like understanding the styles the APAC region and the Chinese regions would bring to us. I would have to prep my players to just.
Oh, Reda di buff.
And just anticipating that is the first thing to take over the game for us, yeah.
Well, they dealt with that very well on map one. Thank you very much for your time and good luck on map 2.
G2 manages to pick up the map win, or the map pick, excuse me, from T1 on Breeze. Welcome back, everyone. Golden Boy and Kukuka here, because Doug had to trek across town. He abandoned us to go commentate. What a bum. Anyway, so no, but oh my goodness. I thought for a minute there we were going to see a flawless half from G2, Kukuka. It was looking very much like that because they were absolutely popping off. I mean, really, the one that was popping off the most was Leaf. I mean, this guy was out of this world.
I think he was definitely a highlight, not only for that second half, also also for the first one, the amount of opening kills and the impact that he was having in the game, especially when we were talking about that third round after they weren't able to convert the second one, where he just goes and, you know, gets the kills. We know, you know, it's still Leaf. He still has the part of duelist in him that you cannot take away from him. Same goes for Trent. I think that the utility, the way they were using every single piece that they had, how they were picking, especially on that last round where we had that zenithal view of that gorgeous set play, time after time, G2 demonstrated that they were ready to take this map off of T1. And
dari play kapan nih? Kayaknya besok deh.
The responsibility that Leaf was taking, not only the gorgeous A's that he had, because we know that he's able to do this, is that he was always very calm about the entire situation.
Oh yeah, he always is. He always is. That's the thing about Leaf that makes him so dangerous as a player. 342 ACS. This guy was popping off in that game. And the thing is that, you know, when Leaf was on Cloud9 before, right, one of the things that we praised him for was that proactivity on the jet. He was always in the face of his opponent, really not letting them breathe. And I think on the Cypher role, that more lurker type of role, he has shined even more so because he just has that natural ability to read when he needs to make those plays.
And it's the versatility as well. You know, like, I can be the Cypher. I think that the way that he's playing with the utility, it suits him very well. Like, he's very aware of every single thing that he's doing. But again, I think that it's very surprising to see this. This is the first time the T1 has lost Breeze this entire year. In fact, this iteration of the roster had not lost this map. And obviously, that was one of the reasons why they decided to go for this map as their opening map for Masters Shanghai. But the way that G2 turned things around, as you said, we thought that we were going to see that flawless second half. Yes, Saya player and Exterior especially had a very Exterior the first half, Saya player the second one. He was the one taking things closer, but there were a couple of situations where we saw things off time, and we do not know if that is for the pressure of being on the stage. You seeing that this is the map that you probably had the most prepared, and you've been read, and you have no response.
Yeah, the Izu play I think came to mind, right? Like, had he hit the dimensional rift, you know, just a little bit earlier, might have been able to get the timing a bit better, right? You could definitely tell that there was a coordination issue with their timings. They were really struggling to find air, and that is honestly a credit to Valen and Josh RT on the preparation here, right? Because very prep heavy team.
The way that they are implementing the Astra, like this composition is so strong. Like again, the Astra old with the cages, the goal, everything that's
Also, my brain couldn't handle it. But the thing is,
okay. You'd be surprised with the things I do in here when I get OCD.
My brain was like, it's turning around the other way. We got
is this can aligned?
the can aligned. But yeah, I mean, honestly, you're really seeing these teams, or at the very least, you're seeing G2 with some excellent reads. But now we're going to find out what's going on over in the T1 camp. We have, of course, the coach of T1 standing by with Yinsu to get some thoughts. Yinsu, what's going on?
I'm now joined by Coach Autumn from T1.
Oui, Shanghai winner.
And we prepare our icebox for this masters for a bit. So probably I can guess their playstyle would be same, but because they don't have enough data from us. So if we can do our own game, and if our preparation is well, probably we have a chance to win.
Fantastic! I look forward to seeing it. Let's see if T1 indeed can bring it back on map 2.
Hey, I like that, you know,
net market mungkin besok ini net market.
We've seen what G2 can do on Icebox. I mean, their Icebox is stupendous. It's a map that they've definitely leaned on quite a bit. The Harbor Gecko has been a great composition that they've implemented. I love the way that the Valen plays Harbor on this map. So yeah, I mean, but at the same time though, there is a lot of film on this map for them, right?
And I love the fact that he was so honest. Like, we know exactly how they're going to play it. We know that if, you know, if they still play without the duelist, if they keep that composition, we know that the turnaround time between playoffs and Masters Shanghai hasn't been that big, so we can expect it. But on the other side, what is T1 going to do? Is that composition that we saw with the Chamber, with the Reina, going to come back into play? Because again, this is a map that we've only seen once from them, I believe, this entire year. They first banned it in multiple occasions, and there has to be a reason for them not to choose to ban it against a team like G2.
Okay, well, they're gonna stick with the Chamber. Reina's coming back to play the Sage. This is gonna be interesting how it plays out. I wish I could tell you. But T1's just gonna have to show it.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see how the ideal diff is going to be here. You know, with Xcurate and Valen, we talked about Valen and how well he works around everything that is going on in the map. Yes, they've only had one showing. If they decided to go for this pick, if there was something to prepare against, it was this composition. To me, I'm really looking to what's gonna happen with mid, specifically when we move on to the attack. But with all the utility that G2 has to prepare for this defense, they should have a very easy time. Again, yes, the plant could come easy for the side of T1. I don't see this composition working in the international stage, though.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one for them to have to pull through. But, you know, T1 has proven that they can deal with the adversity in the past. Is this going to be the case here? Honestly, really hard to tell. I gotta favor G2 in this instance, though, with how good their icebox is.
Exactly. We were talking at the beginning of the day of how important those nerfs were to Viper and how we talk about the post plan and everything. There's not much that T1 can do. They have to be extra aggressive for them to try and change stuff.
Hey, well, they have the Reina, so maybe that's going to be the saving grace for them. Let's go ahead and find out how this whole thing's going to break down. Send it right back over to Achilles and paper.
Let's go!
Thank you very much. Yes. Well, I think there's a decent amount to unpack. Desk
supaya
but we have some changes. It's the same composition overall from the side of T1 coming into Icebox. They showed this versus Gen G. It was the first time that we had ever seen Saya play Reina in his career, which was very weird. But now he's on the Sage. Izu, who's playing Viper, is now on the Reina, and Rossi's back over to Viper, and he was playing Sage. So we just shuffle around 3 different players.
Yeah, and it makes a little bit of sense, right? Like, Ross is a very good Viper player. You can see Xcurate getting up there, but Orb going to be able to be grabbed by Valen. He's just going to fall right back off the high tide, give him the cover to grab that. But it is hard to say for sure what you can expect out of T1. Not only do you only have one look at this particular comp, but now it's going to be played potentially slightly differently. Yeah, Icebox, one of the maps where Reina can absolutely thrive, but with Izu piloting it, I'm not exactly sure what to expect. I'm pretty sure this is his first Reina performance ever, too.
Double shock's going to be sent out. Blind disconnect here on Izu, but Carpe's able to collect 2. Rossi coming down. Another 2 limbs there for him, but Carpe starts things off very nicely. As all of a sudden the Leers come out, the util gets dumped. T1 very quickly are able to find these eliminations, so pistol round victory is going to be theirs.
Well, you can already see some of the ideas here, and Autumn was just talking about it during the interview where you don't have to worry about some of those explosive hits because there is no duelist for the side of G2. So you can give them a little bit of space and just punch them as they're trying to make their executes, make their plants. And you can see Josh RT a little bit frustrated with that one, but just a good patience play here from T1. Reminiscent a bit of what G2 actually likes to do on their defender side against those A hits. They'll kind of hang out by the ramp over in mid as well. And they kind of swarm you as you're trying to get comfortable on those pistol rounds. Let's see what they can do here on this follow-up.
I mean, there's no ambiguity. That recon, it pinged everyone on T1. So you have to push behind here from Jonah. Says, yeah, they're not rotating out. He does have that trademark to try to work around or at least clear out for now.
Toxin screen down.
So get as close as he possibly can. Tries to cut his way up over top, but eventually does have to go ahead and take that one down. So Wall coming up, interrupting some of these kills is Mosh in over the top. To force them off that plant, and so far it does. So an interrupt coming through. Couple knives there onto the wall to try to break through. Saya will be able to get this plant down. Izu at 47, would love to get a kill, would love to try to get that Devour coming in. Well, just will be the Leer, just spray across. Jonah able to come up with 1 as Rossi will fall, but otherwise 4 players from T1 do stand tall. Vandal scooped up there by Xcurate as well, making sure they carry that ever-important rifle over into this now bonus round.
Yeah, and you're already kind of conditioning G2.
Nah, ini dia operator kita, bro.
Yeah, I see it already. Something that they like to do.
Ini dia
Them and
operator
HyperX
kita,
love to grab these
boy.
early ops in round 3 if they can establish a big enough lead. Certainly, the way things have been going, it's a good opportunity here to get Xcurate into his comfort zone. A phenomenal opper, and it's going to have to be really stalwart for T1. Good start, a good recovery. And use the poison orb to cover mid. Of course, not able to be recovered anymore in the newest patch. And just a little bit of info being gathered. Going to catch 2 around that corner. They didn't see anything else. Valen is scooting over towards the other side of the site. Good shot there, does a little bit of damage.
Aduh, hilang palanya, boy.
Icy is watching for it. Fantastic headshot to go ahead and open things up on this defense for G2. Still having the players try to make their way across, but Izu able to find one, so now 4v4.
Gun here.
Op is on a very forward deep line for Xcurate. Very easy to lose that weapon here as the chaos gets ready to ensue. Wall back up, off shot, not going to connect, but Saya player able to find that covering fire, catches one,
nice.
Stabilizes his
Nice.
aim, finds the second. Carpe will take
Nice
that.
bagger,
That
nice
was
bagger.
on lead. He's
Nice.
Xcurate will go ahead and get himself on the board. The final shot coming through, and
Menang
T1
bonus run.
will start off this map 3-0.
Just 3 players working in unison so well here for T1. Xcurate covering with the op, and then immediately Saya player realizes there's contact from the rafters, swings in. Carpe as well getting involved. And then Xcurate just going to be able to watch the screen's angle, get that final kill.
The crowd echoing his cheers.
Langsung time out,
Already.
Cok.
We see a pump of the brakes. 3-0 beginning. Not what G2 were likely anticipating coming into this one. As well, T1, you know, they did play close to Gen G on that icebox. They managed to make it a 13-11 in the loss. The comp was still looking disjointed. A lot of that came down to just pure aim. You know, some util combos, but for the most part, it was just a lot of good shooting. So having T1 come out the gate and be able to start things off with a 3-0, that is not what G2's looking for. So timeout going to be burned nice and early here, wanting to just go ahead and course correct, not let this get out of hand.
Icebox Indonya apa loh?
G2 might have an idea how to play against the Reyna comp because they have. Crew does run Reyna on this map. They did play it earlier in the playoffs in Americas, but it's a very different comp that Crew runs. They run the double initiator. They run the Gecko and the KO, whereas this is, you know, wildly different. You got essentially, you know, 2 Sentinels with the Sage and the Chamber, so it's a very different look that T1's going to bring you on the back of that Reyna. Yeah, there's still kind of the dismisses and the other things that Reyna can do, but the follow-up behind it is going to be a lot more playing for trades, a lot more looking for some long-angle fights with that Chamber, things like that that we're already seeing come into play.
And it's already just been, overall, very clean. I mean, Rossi's the only one who's died on T1. He's died in every single round. So, Cash being banked up by the rest of these players. Leaf, they deep, work forward, but as they continue to poke and prod, Icy can take it down. Leaf is going to be good for 1, does take out Xcurate. That operator going to have to be carried over into the next round. Unless the rest of G2 can try to clutch this one up. Clear up over the top, did get the blind there on the trend. The drop in, his side player playing this aggressively. And he's starting to do it disrespectfully as well. Couple shots there. Onto the corpses. Jonah P trying to see if he can get anything done here with that Marshall. The slow orb to stave him off. Izu around the back. Finds it. Doesn't even need to use the dismiss, but he's like, man, I got money. Goes ahead and pops it. And that is going to be T1 still looking good. But this is the round that we expect that timeout is going to be preparing for. See how things look with some more rifles back into the hands of G2.
Well, you can see that I think G2 already trying to get in the heads of T1 a little bit by getting aggressive, getting ahead of these plants, because this is something that you can't do against this comp as easily, especially because of the Sage Wall. Give them that extra space where they can...
Ayo, dapat lagi yuk, dapat lagi yuk.
It's just been an absolute menace around that plant site. He is just mowing people down as they try to come from rafters and back site. And you got to find ways to deal with that. You got to get util in their faces, but a little bit of a change of pace here for the side of T1. I'm really curious how quickly Jonah P is going to start rotating as well. Has this been all A all the time for T1? They haven't shown you any different looks yet.
Not at all. Doing the team secret strat. Just go A over and over again. But now we have this about to be basically quad push coming down through mid with a join in from Jonah over at green. Izu eating a bit of damage there as the Nanoswarms are going to be popped, and now we're also going to be investing that Viper's Pit. Valen, the rest of the team now arriving. They have
Flank.
trademark.
3 coming from the flank though, so a lot of pressure here for Saya.
The trademark actually put in
Aduh,
shallow.
Saya playernya.
Just push their way forward, not have to alert that at all. Saya, I don't think he's going to be ready for this at all.
Ay, nggak dicek.
Just above him, but they're
Nggak
all
dicek.
checking for him. Finds the one, but it's not going to be able to find a follow-up. Valen does strike him down. 3v4, Execute off in hand.
Nice.
Good for one. Tries to pivot, tries to look over to the right-hand side, but he ends up falling, and now it's just Rossi here in the pit. He's bought a decent amount of time. He still has these fights. He's trying to counter-rotate back around here from the front. Finds the first, finds the second. And that's going to be the Red Bull clutch as Rossi gets himself 3 and T1 gets the 5.
Sublime timing here from
Ini
Rossi.
kuncinya
Just
gua
gets ahead of
ngebet
Joe as he tries
di
to enter
G2.
that Viper's pit. Wraps around, lets him start diffusing, completely catches him off guard. Phenomenal play here. Got to that ult pretty quickly. Died a lot early on, but that means he's going to have a little bit of earlier access to that ult, and yeah, just not aware of it. I like the change here from G2, sending a lot of players.
Obi.
Red. My team was Excurate.
Screaming for the operator.
Yep. As he should.
You're about to be cash capped. But obviously, build up as much as you possibly can. Now, another disjointed buy here for the side of G2. They do have that Thrash. They have that Reckoning online.
All of
2 Stingers, 2 Bulldogs, and a Sheriff.
Going A.
Go
A. All A.
Misplaced it last time.
Jangan sampai
And think about how
kendor.
nice this is for T1, that they were able to get that pit
Apa
ahead
ya?
of these 2 ults.
Udah
They're
tahu
so
di
good
A.
at clearing it. So the ult cycle really working in the favor of T1 right now. They have the res as well.
Oh, and Carpe has the read. He knew that they could just go ahead and smoke this off.
Woo!
As Carpe comes up with 3. Jonah finally does put an end to it. Puts him down.
Aduh.
Finds himself a second with a nice headshot.
Alah, sia boy, kena thrifty ini mah.
Brings us a
Enggak
hell of a lot
mungkin
closer
dong.
than we could have
Nggak
possibly
mungkin dong.
anticipated. So yeah, decides to try to play this one out, but as he drops down onto the site, Saya player will be able to finish him off. So 6-0, T1 continuing on their merry way.
And this time it's an even earlier positioning to deal with this late flank for T1. It's going to be Carpe showing us some flashy shots. That transition onto that second player was phenomenal.
Let's go.
And T1 here, again, pace of play, going to be quick between these 2 teams. They like to get those plants down early. They like to get into those post plants as comfortably as they can. And now ults across the board here for G2. This is borderline and must-win round on this map.
Now 5 just about ready to go as Trent is 1 charge away from having that. He gets himself lurched forward. A little bit of spray though. They're suspecting that, but as Isu goes rushing forward, he's just going to be blinded up by the Dizzy, and Icy is able to take him down. No covering fire, no real reinforcement. Everybody else just staved off by that Reckoning off the rip. So very nicely done there by Valen to get them an early advantage.
Look how quick T1 is rotating here, and I thought maybe G2 was going to mirror them, but they're not. They're going to clear that utility. That's going to alert them to T1's presence. How comfortably is T1 going to be able to get this plant down?
They're still going to be able to get here with a good amount of time because these nanoswarms do come through. It does delay them a bit, but now the wall can come into play. As the plant will be right here on the default corner. Wall coming through. Hunter's Fury as well now opened up. Just interrupts that one, not allowing for Saya player to go ahead and complete it. So Spike still not out. Thrash does go forward. And right now T1, I mean, maybe
Balik ke A lagi nggak sih?
especially as that pit.
Balik ke A, balik ke A, balik ke A,
Everything
balik
in the
ke A.
kitchen sink at this site.
Balik
But
ke A, balik ke A,
T1,
balik
they
ke A,
want to
balik
bail
ke A,
out. They
balik ke
want
A,
to rotate
balik ke A.
back and leave. Somewhat suspecting this is starting to rotate back into A.
And he's got that
Wow,
lockdown if they start coming this way. He can buy even more time. He can push them into more uncomfortable angles. Love this.
But he's in such a deep
Aduh.
position. He needs to
Angle-nya
come away
di-
with kills. He needs to be able
bikin
to find the
kampret
surprise.
ini angle-nya.
If he wants that lockdown to find value. But now the swarm is coming through. There's the res.
Nice.
That's the perfect timing for Rossi to come up over the top. Takes him out. Now that lockdown, not going to be seen. Shock Dart's throwing the try and delay. Plant going to be coming through. Wingman gets the spot onto one there, down below.
Nice.
This plus 4.
Nice.
It kills off 2. Jonah now, the last one standing. And this has been a catastrophic
Untung
round
ketahuan,
for
Cok.
G2. He gets the spot
Untung
on the
ketahuan,
one, but
Cok.
Carpe breaks line of sight. They still have 5 players alive. Can he do anything here? Can he find damage? They suspect that he's going to be coming through from that A main side. They might be up on belt, and yeah, I think he just has to save. He's going to see if anybody tries to exit, maybe try to catch that frag here. But if he doesn't survive with this weapon, then it's even more catastrophic.
And all the ults they invested in this round. I mean, I guess the slightly good news is he didn't lose the lockdown. I mean,
Sure.
I don't know what, if it was worth it. I thought for sure Leaf was going to be in a position there. Okay, Jonah B's going to get one.
We'll find one. So flawless not to come through here, but it's still no closer to a round victory for G2 as T1 continue to run away with this icebox. You see Spirit still looking relatively high here for the squad. Some smiles on their faces, but certainly not in a position that they want to be in at the moment. And it seemed like it was very much in their hands. The start was great, that early reckoning, catching them off guard, finding the punish on the Izu, and just stopping that potential res from coming in. It felt like every single alt investment from G2 was pretty much perfectly timed. They interrupt that plant, they get the pit to stop them from getting back into the site. All that they were missing was that lockdown being used in a more defensive position to stop them from getting into A.
Exactly. No, you're right on, my friend. I thought for sure that Leaf was going to do that. Oh, quick up on the pipe, but my God, what a shot from Icy.
Another first blood for him. Saya, quick to reply, does manage to find Jonah. So Icy now just going to get tucked along here into the corner. And the pace very much gets slowed down.
T1 just looking for these angles for X-Curate. Cove is going to go up, though. He's just going to continue to hold that angle, see if anyone's going to try to push out for info or anything like that. But for now, T1 happy to plant their feet, looking for these late lurks potentially. Let's see, with the spike is Saya. It's kind of drifting around there on belt. For now, nobody really moving a muscle with no contact on either side. A re-up of the high tide here for Valen.
I mean, G2 is fairly convinced that they're still going to be in this site. They have no reason to suspect otherwise. That alarm bot is still sat over at B. And nothing's been seen by Leaf. Yeah, quick heal, quick clear on that recon as the wall falls. And this is the moment now for T1 to try to strike. A lot of detail dumped into the corner. There it is, the snake bite does flush out Icy. Really good awareness here from T1. Rossi going to be taken down. Trent is able to put that Vandal to use for at least one kill, but can he find more? There's the jiggle from Carpe.
Aduh, ujungnya kelihatan.
And it's a bit of a 50-50 for him, but Carpe just goes in for the challenge, gets the headshot. It's now 8-0 for T1.
Well, I mean, credit to G2 for doing their homework on Breeze. Credit to T1 for doing their homework on this map. I mean, they are reading every single position so nicely. The shock dart into the snake bite combo with the slow there. Yeah, no, there's no chance there. They just knew his position. He's just dead. With the slow orb there as well, he can't get out. I mean, it's just unbelievable the way they're reading the map right now. Every time G2 wants to take an angle, every time G2 wants to take a fight, T1 is one step ahead of them, cutting them off. Just so ready for everything they're trying to do. These quick hits up towards their nest side, things like that, they're just shut down every time.
Yeah, and I think that if you ask a coach, you know, what is the worst feeling? They'll probably say it's having to call both timeouts in the first half, especially when you don't have any round wins. It's something that you want to be able to hold in your back pocket, but you just can't leave the players floundering like this any longer. So perfectly understandable to have to call this one now here for G2, but you know, they need this to then work. It needs to find value. They need to be able to run back at least just those 4 rounds that are possible for them to get in this first half.
And your big guns are being absolutely shut down right now for G2. Valen and Leaf, 4 kills between the two of them. I mean, it's just been phenomenal how drilled, how clean T1 has looked. And it's just great trades, great positioning, great awareness. Good util when they need to, but right now it's just more about everybody kind of doing their job and being in the right place at the right time. Let's see if there's any challenge here. Carpe gonna scout ahead of this high tide, just see if there's any info. Alir, just in case somebody had tried to push out early for G2, but still have that lockdown for Leaf. Let's see if that's part of what this timeout was about. I suspect it is. He's been sitting on it for a bit.
Hunter's Fury on the open. Carpe looking to see if he can catch anybody here. Just barely splits the difference there, so unable to find the tag on the Trent. Lockdown now as well, trying to buy some space. Saya, can he get out of it in time? Yes, he does. So the detain, not going to be found playing that one. On a razor's edge is T1, but Extra now going to be taken down. Leaf starting to come up a little bit. That's the operator now dealt with. Izu trying to find a pacey timing, goes up, gets the dismiss out, sees a couple other plays, but now Leaf comes away with a second. Saya gonna be taken down, but Izu as well, equalizing, gets that kill. Off shot taken out into Carpe's hands, unable to find the value there. Recon cleared, nothing spotted, sees the light to Icy, but cannot find the kill. Rossi cannot get the clutch. G2 will at long last get themselves on the board.
And even
Kan
though
lagi
that's read pretty
post-prem
well
ya,
there by
udah,
T1,
kek.
that was a conscious decision to invest that Hunter's Fury before the lockdown came down because they knew they had the timing to get Saya player back out after he puts the plant down. I mean, a lot of teams aren't going to get aggressive off the back of their lockdowns these days. They're going to wait it out because you can never
Operatornya Kevin juga
trying to clear potentially that
ini
lockdown or get a
dia.
free pick and leave. So they have to play
Agak
back.
kena.
T1 tries to take advantage of it, but it gives G2 enough comfort to get their angles, to get their shooting under control. Couple just off the mark shots from Xcure. It hurts there as well for T1. Usually pretty steady with that op. This time around, just a little bit off the mark. However, the money obviously very, very good. A little bit of congestion though at the front of the orb is still T1 continuing their march forward towards A, and G2 is going to opt to play a little bit further back, giving up that front part of the site, just like they did on the pistol round.
Drone for drone, but I mean, right now, Trent, he is spotting out everything. No ambiguity once again here for T1. Shock dart lobbed in. Not going to get the connection there.
T1 hasn't needed the ambiguity, though. They haven't really needed to have much.
Another wall set up. There's the reveal of the TP out. Decent timing there from Xcure to keep himself safe. They're also kind of hoping that this is maybe faked, that somebody else, you know, is in that forward position. Zisu stays stuck, and he's able to find a headshot. Dismisses forward, just checking for more info. Cuts back, Lear now going to be sent out, and spots out two.
Nice.
Quick little dismiss there, as he goes up on top of the wall. Doesn't manage to shut that down.
Agresif banget boy si Izu.
Though, ready to invest. The pip coming through. Xcure re-peeking, finds Jonah, and he knew that Leaf had already worked his way into the site, so they know that he's in this committed position. That's a bit wanting from Xcure, though, given how low he was. Ends up going down. Can Leaf find more? There's the headshot. As he gets himself 3. It would be an ace clutch for him to get G2 a second round win. We've already seen him get an ace on that Breeze map. All on his lonesome, jumps across to the opposite side. They hear this. They should roughly kind of know where he's going to be positioned, but as he pushes up into the smoke, Carpe with a shorty will be able to put him down. Not giving him any more wiggle room. They shut it out. That's T1 now, 9-1.
Yeah, loving the way that Izu's been playing this Reyna in the last couple of rounds. Gets the kill, uses the dismiss to get information. Immediately the Lear follow-up. Goes on top of the wall, Leaf's ready for it, but now Xcure finding value with that op. Something missing out of the previous round, something that is hitting in this round for T1. That is a difference maker for sure, because you can't let Leaf get hot, as we saw on Breeze. He could start taking over maps. At this point, though, 9-1 for T1. Get pretty in control.
And you can see, I mean, the heavy stack just only leaving Jonah over towards B, because it has just been this A site over and over again. Xcure with 1, Rossi, Saya, one piece as well as the crash. Does get invested, but it's not going to be able to come up with any detains. I see he's been fairly clean with
Gedabag.
Not being given the space, he's not being given the time. That is set up for them. He falls, Rossi reads the lurk decently well, just can't quite connect the shots. Takes a bit of damage, but it's going to be Xcure picking up 3 to get T1 up to double digits.
And now T1 is hitting their win conditions. It's
Terus.
great execute, their great awareness as well, but now Xcure starting to heat up with that op. Is if a player on T1, whether it be Saya or Xcure, starts hitting their op shots, starts getting those opportunities, forget it. They are too good with it, and it's really hard to deal with.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Have we seen a single plant on B? The one that they tried. Interrupted.
I mean, they tried.
It's just been nothing but A.
Yeah, it's like I said, there's no ambiguity to this, Achilles. They're just reading. They're just reading G2 so well. Tour de force.
Tour de force at the ready.
Wah, kacau. Wah.
To try to bring Xcure back in, but still, T1 bleeding out multiple players. Leaf forward spot, but Rossi snappy with it, finds that headshot. As T1 look for an 11.5. Jonah noted, has to rotate back across through mid. You can see T1 not feeling comfortable. Losing out on those players. That's a lot of their entry power, a lot of their util taken out of their hands. And they know that that Hunter's Fury is on the opposite side.
But if you think about it, with this comp that T1 has, it makes a lot of sense that it's not a lot of B. They don't have a lot of flashes. They don't have the KO. They don't have the Gecko. They don't have the ability to clear some of those back areas as easily, where they can work the angles really nicely as a team here. Yes, they have the Lears, but you don't have the ability to sort of clear, deeper angles. So these close quarters angles, of course, it works into the Reyna as well. You know, the Sage works a treat here. Oh, not sure if he was supposed to raise him up or not, but.
Oh, Xcurate does end up dying there as the fight comes through, but Jonah was already taken so very low. Hunter's Fury, Trent just fishing, trying to find anything he can to stave them off, but nothing spotted. A 4K from Rossi as it's 11-1 in the half. T1 so far out in front.
Ini sengaja gua ngebet G2. Tapi poin gue hilang, Cok.
Crazy stuff here. I mean, good shooting from G2, but it's just not enough. I mean, T1's just got the economy and they've got the shots, man.
Just another one of these situations where it just feels like a night and day difference for both teams compared to that first map. Huge response here from T1. We'll pass this back over to the analyst as to break things down for that first half.
Thank you so much, fellas. Wow. I mean, talk about just a flip-floppy game that you're seeing here, but T1 comes out of the gate swinging, literally, 11-1. I mean, honestly, like, that was just, I mean, granted, they just went A the entire time.
Literally. A is the name of the game. I mean, I was surprised, right? Because I see G2's name in the server. And back in EMEA, when they were competing there, they would be the ones going A
completely
all
different
the time.
Team, by
yeah,
the way.
exactly. Yeah, of course, yeah. But he was so surprising and so consistent at the same time. We wanted to take a look at this one, round number 7, because this is after they had a pause, after they had some time to think, after they realized that they kept going A no matter what. G2 takes matters into their own hands. They want to change things up. And the response from T1 was to go back and forth, to be just teasing things around to see if they can have any kind of effect on G2. And it didn't matter. The way that they then rotate back, get the kill on to leave, as we saw at the beginning of the clip, it's so important because we were talking about how they had to be aggressive, how they had to be consistent, how they should not be scared of taking those duels. And that's exactly what we saw, especially for like players like Saya player. Yes, he was playing on the stage, first timer, but it doesn't matter. He's still Saya. Like, there was literally nothing that G2 could do. Like, we saw so many different approaches to how they wanted to change the rounds up. Even pushing through mid, pushing through B, being a little bit more aggressive on A, leaving the space, playing through for retake. Nothing was working.
Yeah, nothing was working. And even, I mean, Coach Autumn did call it. Right.
He did call it.
He was like, you know, we know that they don't like to play that no duelist comp, so we're just going to go ahead and just burst onto the site. And they managed to do that round after round after round after round. Well, look at this. We're going to send it back over to the casters to see how this all unfolds. It's going to be a quick one.
It very well could be, but not at all in the way that we maybe had anticipated, considering what happened to Breeze, considering what T1's record has been like on this map. But this is, as Autumn was saying, you know, we workshopped this quite a bit. Didn't have to change the comp, just change who.
Trot, hilang. Trot lagi. 1, 2, 3.
Still plays Chamber, pushes forward and finds that first kill.
Salah, hilang 1.
I'm just left in awe of how T1 is just looking so much crisper on this map. It's incredible. I mean, right there, just Xcurate kind of understanding where they like to peak early, taking advantage of it. Now, Rossi going to be challenged a bit. A lot of util in the hands of Carpe. He went for the full util buy. He could potentially back him out. Rossi sees a lot. He has to get out of there. He knows it.
Just pulls away. Harbor Wall now going to be coming up. Wingman there for the plant. Slow up to try to stop them from getting into a forward position. This does leave Valen a little bit stranded, but he's
nice side player.
Falling to side player's hand.
Aduh.
Trying to push up, trying to find that additional punish. Does end up getting caught. 3v3 though. One shock dart left available. Xcurate still pushing in from behind, and it looks like they do suspect.
Nice.
Dead.
Ooh.
Back to back. And he's got it. Xcurate. The 4K to give T1 another pistol round win to give them map point. That is disgusting.
He's been outrageous in some of these rounds today. Kicks it off with the headhunter. Has the sheriff.
Security boy.
Oh my goodness.
Does it with Leaf's sheriff.
That's unbelievable.
Bringing the Pacific Anthem over to Master Shanghai.
My man. The only thing I could fault T1 in that round was Saya overswung. That was about it. I mean, it was just great map control there.
Sebenarnya 13-0 ini, Cok.
So well. And then Rossi has a great read to fall back after seeing those. I mean, it's just, other than that, it's really well played there by T1. I mean, they're in firm control of that round in terms of the info game, in terms of the shooting. Everything was them.
My only criticism was that it wasn't another Ace for X-Grit. That somebody else could have killed. Could have had back to back.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
But now, obviously, the force up here for G2. But even then, still not that strong. 3 stingers can do some significant damage, but they're going to have to try to play a bit more up close and personal. As that wingman plant comes in, nothing to stop it, nothing to dissuade it. Wingman looks to be recovered. Xayah player just inching his way out, just taking pot shots, trying to see if he can find any kind of straight connection, do some damage before they really start with this retake.
Really just that Gecko utility left. Shock Dart keeps players at blade temporarily, but they got all the info.
Throws to the spot, easy to try to lead the charge. He does end up falling down. Aggressive
forward.
That's Excure with a no-scope outlaw headshot. What a snappy reaction from him. Either way, they continue to storm their way forward. And the last one standing. He does fall. T1 damn near perfection on Icebox as they close this out 13-1. They are not going quite quietly into the night. They are fighting back in a major way, and they are extending this series to a third and final map.
I mean, a map that they had been afraid to play until the lower finals, the very last match they played in Pacific, and they come into this and they say, no, we've got it. We figured it out, and it certainly looks like it. Unbelievable performance from T1.
Absolutely insane, but we still have a Lotus to see who is going to be walking away victorious. That action will continue in just a few, so don't go anywhere.
Gua ngebet lagi ngebet G2. Ayo dong. Let's go. Let's go. Watch partinya di channel gue aja ya.
told you we'll be back really soon because the score was 11-1, and there's just nowhere else for that really to go. Man, I mean, look, I'm gonna just be honest. I can't recall the last time I saw G2 get pooed on like that.
Mana CS-nya
anjir? A dumpster fire for them, honestly.
Well, that is probably because this iteration of the roster has never lost as hard. A 13-1 in your map pick.
Yeah.
We were talking about maybe biting into some bait, but this was on a different level. Yes, we had players playing some agents for the first time, but it didn't matter because the cohesion was there. Everybody was being extra aggressive. We weren't even seeing on the replays how they were feeling every single moment.
Yeah, and Saya player was having a field day out there.
Yeah.
You know, something that we didn't get to talk about because honestly it happened and we were kind of like perplexed. We're like, oh, they're using the same composition that they were using before. Oh wait, they swap players around, and I think they found the combination that works for them.
I would love to know why. Like, I need to know, like, you already had the comp, you already had to play it. What made you, like, is it just the fact that you lost and everybody was like, oh, no worries, next time I will be playing the Sage? Because I think that we just saw it in that replay, right? Even though Saya is the Sage and he's going first, he's not going to be the kind of Sage he's going to just go inside, put the ball down, let me get the plant. No, he's going to get the kills. And we can also see in those replays how G2 is trying to react to that, how they're trying to not allow it, but T1 just, they didn't care.
Nothing. Literally, like, nothing G2 could do would work there because it was just so much just aggressive potential from that composition. Also, Excurate was hitting some wild shots as well. I mean, across the board, this T1 team just dominated as we take a look here at the breakdown. And really, you know, on the other side for G2, there's not really much else to tip your hat for. I mean, you know, Valen and Leaf just getting absolutely neutralized. And then on the other side, you could really just take your pick. Everyone was having a field day out there. Just so happened that Rossi was the one finding those frags, who also made a switch to back to the Viper here. I mean, just absolute pandemonium. But
Gak jelas anjir
and he
formnya.
had an amazing play. I think that if we go individual, like individual, for example, X-Ray, he gets the operating one round 3. Rossi also as well.
Disadap sama fans NA.
How he moves, how he interprets everything. I think that every single one of the players, no matter what agent they were playing, had their moment into making this such a dominant win.
Yeah, and really, I think G2, you get to a point
where
it snowballs so much that you really can dig yourself not only out of, you know, the score pit that you find yourself in, but the mental prison that you're in. I mean, they certainly did. They certainly did. They had to. They had no other choice. Obviously, just a very well executed game there by T1. You saw on the other side how prepped G2 was for T1's Breeze. T1 obviously did the homework on their Icebox. Now this takes us to Lotus here. But before we do that, though, we have our HyperX reflex moment. We got to give it to Excurate there for that awesome 3K that he was able to pull off. I mean, really, you could have just
Gacor 77.
But this was
paling gacor 77.
Wacky shots with the Sheriff they're receiving. Excurate just doing the business.
It's poetic, right? Like, he gets the first one with the hand hunter, then he gets the Sheriff and gets onto 3 more kills to secure the pistol round. Didn't even need it.
No.
They could have given away some rounds, put some makeup onto that score. So
I could have just been like, yo, let's
3, 6, 6, 9,
let's get him a few more. Nah, not gonna happen. They just shut it down. Beautifully done, though, honestly, by T1. But now, though, man, that takes us to Lotus, and I'm curious what we're gonna end up seeing here, because we did see some changes from T1 last time they played this. They busted out the neon on this and the composition. Could work out, maybe not. We're back to Fate.
I mean, after a 2-13, maybe they decide that it's not the way to go.
Yeah.
It's one of the maps that I definitely between these two teams, it feels like more evened out. I think that Lotus, first of all, is a gorgeous map. Let's just see Lotus all the time. It's a map that I literally cannot get enough of because every region has a bit of a different interpretation. I think that's why it's so interesting to see when we have a map with three not so much.
Aku tak tahu apa yang terjadi.
From X-ray, why would you not put it on the chamber again, right? But if we talk about on the preparation side, if they have 2 compositions ready, this would be the perfect moment to go for the wild card. Because if G2 is so prepared for Lotus as they were for that Breeze, they will be prepared for the usage of the chamber. Also, something to mention, remember that we are in the patch where Viper has been nerfed, and I think that in that icebox we could see it because GOPAY did not have that much versatility to counter what was going on. If he uses one snake, but it's gone.
Yeah, the agent's very limited.
Gone. Like whatever you use is committed, and I think that was a very small showing, and we're going to see even more on Lotus.
Yeah, that was. You could see how the agent is now been really restricted from before, just being able to do so many things and contribute so much to
styling,
yeah, exactly. Now it's just not.
Kenapa
I think if you're T1 coming into this Lotus, despite the fact that G2, they have a pretty decent Lotus as well. I think T1's riding all this momentum. It's really going to be up to the gentlemen you see on the screen there, the coaches, to get this team ready and in sorts as they get ready for this particular map. Because T1 now, they're riding this high, and momentum, as we've seen in Valorant, can really play a role. It plays a massive role in these series, especially at these global events. Because you have to think in the back of your mind, if you're Valen and this, that guard core, you're like, oh boy, it's happening again. Things are starting to crumble, and we're struggling here. They need to figure it out here and now.
I'm just scared that Seth and Clint are going to be right about their predictions, and it's going to be the composition without the Neon. They're going back to the Radium and the Fade.
And X-Curate's on the chamber. You called it. You said you wanted to see him on that chamber. He's having a field day. Might as well.
Hear me out. Again, it comes to preparation. It also comes to something that we were talking about before. Mentally now for G2. Scrapboard, it just happened. Okay?
Yep.
Yes, Icebox. It didn't happen. Let's just focus on the Lotus. Again, it's a map that we're going to be seeing a lot. And now they're starting on the attack. They need to make it worthwhile round after round.
Yeah, well, this is going to be a challenging one for G2, and T1's riding that high. Are they going to be able to lock this one down and get that first win? Let's send it back over to your casters. You got Achilles and Paper Thin on the call.
Thank you very much, GB and Kukuka. Here we go. A map 3 in our opening series of the event. What more could we ask for? X-Curate's as well back over onto the chamber. Let's see how this looks. This has been... Calling it a crutch map does seem a little bit harsh for T1, but this has been where they like to play. This has been their bread and butter throughout the entirety of Stage 1, even back into kickoff. But there's plenty of tape to have been studied.
And I was so hoping we get to see this map
Let's
between
go.
these two teams, because G2 has been absolutely phenomenal so far this year. Or this stage on Lotus, they beat C9, they beat Leviathan in the run back in the lower finals, they beat Furia, they beat EG. A little bit of congestion here outside.
Ayo,
as
abis ini gue mandi.
Attacker's side this time. Looking for those angles, gets a spot.
Udah sore banget, Cok.
Takes a little bit of damage, just gonna opt to fall back. Some rotations
Biar
coming through.
Krusial anjir gua ngebet
G2
kayak tadi, Cok.
G2, typical G2 fashion. Didn't really like what they saw. Smoke coming up, and gonna use that opportunity to rotate around. Maybe think about a B pivot or a C pivot. Let's see what they want to go for. X-Curate was tucked into that A corner, so something gave it away a little bit there for G2. That could be the more challenging part of the map. However, Rossi sliding over. Isu ready with that paranoia. A lot of util dumped here by G2 for essentially nothing. And Valen just goes in and sees nothing, and he's like, don't like it. We're not getting any contact. And, there's some contact.
And there's deja vu is what it is. X-Curate finding the headshot with a headhunter there on to leave. Tap on the door. Here's all these footsteps. He knows that there's plenty more players. But still T1 not full sending the rotations.
Dapat lagi.
Trot. Can't quite stabilize. Those follow-up shots. Paint shells going in a little bit deeper.
Oh.
Shot through.
Oh, nice.
Carpe arrives. Cleans up too. Icy. Trent now dead. A 4v2. As G2 look to try to get this pistol. Take some big moments from him, but now Jonah taken down. Saya finds a headshot. Valen trying to creep up, but he just doesn't check over to the right. Rossi was right.
Udah kelar anjir.
Right behind the box. Finds the finishing shot. And that's going to be T1.
Gue kira masih ada.
Pistol round win once more.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic job here by T1 in the first place obscuring all the information of where their players mostly are positioned. They saw Carpe at the beginning of the round. That was about it until they re-aggressed towards A and got taken down by X-Curate. Then they decide, okay, well, we just got to go for this. Let's push. And yeah, X-Curate not able to find any more kills, but that buys enough time for Carpe to slide up into A heaven from that rope, get a big double kill. And then it's just kind of messy there in a 2v4 for G2. Can't really find the angles. By that point, T1 has rotated in. The reinforcements arrive, and the round goes the way of T1 to start.
They mark there trying to delay, but Carpet just dragging across.
Nice.
Icy sprays in to clean up Trent as well.
Nice bagur, nice bagur.
Kills lopped in. Fallon just having to stay flush against that door. Keep quiet. And try to keep his life intact, but to join in. Yep, he's gonna
contact dash.
Swing onto the corner. It's a double stack, high-low. Xcurate able to find that kill.
Flawless.
Cover going down. Any kind of additional damage dealt here is going to prove to be so incredibly difficult. Double shots into the smoke, though. Very much reading the tendencies there of Isu incredibly well. Fallon will find that in a limb, but as the door opens up, Carpet will get himself a third. Rossi gets a piece of the pie as well. It's a damn near flawless here. T1 move up 2-0.
Yeah, just a very nice hold here early by Carpe. Catches the raise mid-flight, and then able to track down some of those shots that are coming through that toxic screen very nicely. And that's making the round incredibly difficult for G2. Yeah, they get a couple kills, but you're getting that early op once again. You can see that T1, I saw it in their money. Xcurate had 2,000 credits in that previous round, and just enough to get that op in a full armor. You do have a Bulldog or two that have to be cut so that this op can come in. Of course, you got to be expecting it. There's that shot and the TP out.
Yeah, right at the base of Icy's feet. He does manage to stay alive. Couple shots across over towards Baby Door to see if he can catch anybody trying to lurk up behind that Viper wall. But otherwise, it's again just a bit of an explosive opener, some shots in a util exchange. And now shift back across the opposite side of the map, but where Rossi is looking to intercept. Paranoia sent, swing onto the corner.
Nice.
Izu able to find one. Rossi gets the other. Izu will not be allowed to escape. Trent does find that kill. Sigma to try to hold them.
Udah Rossi, udah.
Nice.
Nice.
Just goes in for the challenge.
Dapat lagi ya.
But he still secures them the man advantage. I see at 45 HP. Trent is well tagged down to 85. Playing in versus a Vandal, an Op, and a Bulldog. And all these players have full health still.
Just a slight pause, but T1 has firm control of the map.
Dapat Carpe 1-2. Der. Nah.
As Carpe will continue. This has been a whale of a start for him as once more T1, similar scenes to Icebox, kick things off 3-0.
I mean, they're doing such a good job of playing quickly off the information that they have. They're pushing out on the extremities of the map, and there's a quick back, like double back towards C here for the side of G2, and it's that Paranoia into the push out combo for T1 that gets them that early kill advantage. And now Carpe has a Nightfall in this fourth round. A little bit of a shift of position for Xcurate. Here we go. Out towards Rubble. Going to be uncontested mostly by G2. And for now, quick pivot towards C. Are they going to be able to force the issue on this weaker buy with these stingers?
Xcurate just here along the door. I mean, there's plenty of noise being made here. Paranoia goes across, catches on the multiple. Izu reading it. Tries to get the adjustment for that third. Can't quite make it happen. Door opened up. Off shots coming.
Nice banget anjay.
Hits him. Right in the dome. Right to the top of the mound. He now falls. Allen spotted. Swing out, and Trent will be able to put Carpe down. His first death of the map thus far. They continue to just swing out and look for these challenges.
Miss lagi cok,
tadi cok. Within the side itself. No paint shell available. Does have the boom bot. But you can tell G2, they just have no comfort in this position whatsoever. Saya pick up
ayo,
on the back end.
Ini nih krusial bener. Ayo.
Yeah, I like the idea.
Ngajak go bet G2 yuk.
Sensing that
ayo, G2 yuk. 13-0 yuk.
Trying to play a little bit of traps. But this time Izu playing a little bit further back. As soon as that Prowler comes out, his Paranoia follows up, gets a bunch of them, sees the player blast packing in towards that box, I believe. Reads the positioning nicely. Only able to get 2, but still.
Udah jam 5 anjir.
Really nice hold from Izu to at least get 2 out of that position.
Yeah.
That shot from Xcurate. He is feeling it now, that's for sure.
Nasty one. 4-0 start once again. Pressure now going to start mounting here for G2. I mean, the desk was talking about it, how momentum, how important that can be. But we also saw, because of that icebox, how quickly momentum can come and go. T1, they're not looking to release it, though. They don't want to relinquish the control that they have.
Well, when you're in that flow state, yeah, the longer you can stay in it, the better for sure. And T1 is definitely definitely found it. Do have a Nightfall for Trent coming into this next round here for G2. So let's see if they can make Xcurate uncomfortable. That's something that can cause T1 some problems. We've seen it in Pacific, where if you can keep that chamber off balance, that's when things start to get a little bit dicey for T1, when they start to crumble somewhat. And that's something I'm looking for here. You know, you saw it with teams getting, you know, deep smokes, deep flashes to cover off some of those anticipated angles that Xcurate likes to hold. Now you got to look for those opportunities, because so far they haven't found them.
Smoke, Paranoia, gonna be sent in. Icy able to find that forward player. Rossi gonna be taken down. Showstopper, he's blinded up, can't quite get that.
Roja.
Isu able to keep himself very healthy as he tucks back just on that left-hand side over at C. So now, not finding anything else, G2 will start to back away. Xcurate in a very far forward position as his TP set up, but now has to be reclaimed. He knows that they're into that B site, and if he does take that TP, he's going to be dead to rights, just out in the open. So Plant now coming through. G2 with a man advantage. Can they close this out? Rush forward out of the smoke. IC finding himself a third. Shuts it down. Notes Carpe on the opposite side of the door. Now it's just he and Xcurate to try and see if he can somehow claw this one back. Boombot cleared. Paint shells lobbed in to try to cut them off. Xcurate able to find one. That's going to be the lurker. Now dead. But still, so many angles to try to clear out. Headhunter in play there from him as Carpe going to be struck in from behind. Icy now on for an ace. He moves forward, wants to try to catch that one, but Xcurate says no. Finds that kill. Now things start getting a little bit more risky for them because they still need to hold on to these weapons. So Xcurate will just go ahead, save the operator, pulls back away. It's G2. Drift across the opposite sides of the map, maintaining their weapons, and they get themselves on the board at long last.
Yeah, and this is a good read here from G2, kind of identifying some of the open space that T1 is giving up. You don't have some of that Killjoy utility that can often be kind of difficult to deal with on the B site for teams on Lotus. So you can bypass that and just make quick hits.
Udah mantep ya.
This time around, we're able to sneak past the defenses, the opening trade as well, but still, Josh not super happy with it. It is a round, it is a win. The op still remains.
Salah tebak lagi, Cok.
Still have the Nightfall as well, so all things considered for G2, you're in a pretty good position now.
That's more costly than he wanted it to be. Icy now trying to work his way forward over by the tree. Paint shells lobbed out, but Saya not caught by them. Jeez. Just a minute amount of damage taken here, but B site completely open. Prowler will go ahead and check forward. Trademark to try to slow things up on the approach. Showstopper as well. Side player looking to shove that back, but kill found. Easy with a nice backstab. Comes away with one, but he's not ready for leap out wide. But Trent does manage to find the kill. Nice coming out with two. And all of a sudden, it's right back into T1's hands. Spike now dropped here on the smoke leap. Able to find the one. Taps. Absolutely gorgeous rifling from him to keep G2 in this round. Swinging out, finds one now, the 1v1. They know Leaf's position was right there in the spawn. He's itching, he's looking for it. And Saya will have it. The Red Bull clutches his. Damn close Leaf, doing everything that he could. But Saya just barely gets away with it and stops G2 from finding that second round win.
I mean, it's so interesting how fast this map is. And part of it's because T1's pushing the pace, and this time around G2 reads it pretty well, but that's just insane from Carpe. Completely changes the destiny, and you're like, okay, Leaf's turn. He's hitting some banger shots. And then it's Saya's turn. He's gonna step in, and just barely. One more shot, he would have lost that battle.
Pop off. You get a 2K, you get a 2K. Sharing this is Xcurate trying to go for a timing shot. Not quite ready for the reveal on the haunt there, as Orb's going to be snatched up by Icy, just 2 away from that next showstopper. Xcurate just dropping back here. Up on top of dropping as the smokes continue to fly through. He has to reposition, but Rossi, the first Bastion defense, ends up falling, and that's going to be a weapon now handed over here to Trent. Sees in play, Xcurate still wanting to peek off the back of this, expecting somebody to push their way over in towards tree, but no one giving him a sightline whatsoever. The Nightfall just having to be eaten, now fully deafened up. Knows that there's going to be no flank coming in, but Trent's actually going to be the one taken down. Asaya comes away with that kill. Pinch to clean it up. Icy now dead. Izu doing God's work somewhere. Finds two. They go ahead. They double push the smoke. They flush him out.
Rapi.
T1 with 3 players left standing can go ahead, pick up the operator once again. And that is going to be them carrying on their merry way.
And that presence of Xcurate on that site, it just makes it so they can't push, and so that the angles can be pretty well read by T1 in the post plant that G2 is trying to set up. They can just start spamming them down, just shutting them down. Izu comes through stairs and just mows down too. They're not ready for the timing.
Yeah, Leaf not being past that wall quite just yet. I mean, he is. He's 9-1-1 at the moment.
He's.
I mean, call for help, G2.
Yeah.
Saya's telling you what to do.
Now, you do have a Viper's Pit for Jonah P. A lot of util, again, to try to clear Mound, but it's once again Izu by himself. Uses the Paranoia early.
On to 3, and there it is. Saya pushing out, able to find 2. Xcurate gets 1. They lose 2 of their players here. Do T1. They still come away with a decent little advantage. There's the cut across on the smoke. Anticipating that second player still is not quite ready. Misses out on the timing.
Gila-gila nih.
Misses out on the shot.
Si Coco gila-gila nih.
Sent the wall. Falling. Looking for a flick, but there's no one there to receive the shot. Carpe, in the meantime, does find Trent and Rossi swinging around the back. Odin in hand will just gun him down. The pain continues. 7-1. T1.
Wah, menang udah ini GG, Cok.
And this is the defender side of Lotus as well. They are absolutely just barnstorming them right now. And this time they show them a different look when they've given up space on Mound. Izu was playing further back the last time, waiting before they came through the door to let loose with the Paranoia. This time it's a trap play with the swinging door as well. Paranoia into the Mound, catches a bunch, and it's a favorable trade for T1.
Ya, temboknya habis.
Yeah, and I think that the timing on this one, very much understandable for G2. Again, similar scenes are happening as what we saw on Icebox, but also the amount of ultimates available to G2. You want to be able to get into the players' ears and make sure that you're not going to end up overcommitting these and not getting around win like we saw on Icebox. So need to have a very solid plan about how to utilize these. Muka lu tegang banget, Cok.
Udah kayak pakai masker ini ya, nippon pen aja.
Lacking is that Nightfall, and there's just as many ultimates on the opposite side. So there needs to be a very firm game plan here to not overcommit.
Right, and it's going to be really difficult because, especially like if you're G2, you're like, okay, we're in an eco round here. We've got a showstopper, but so does our opponent. So if we trade those, that's not really that worth it in this round. That's probably the one alt in eco where you're kind of okay with sending it pretty early to try to gain that extra kill, gain that extra space, get that early round advantage. But you're not really going to be afforded that opportunity if T1 so chooses. Plus, you have to figure out where the heck this operator is just in case, because you never know. Xcurate might just snipe you out of the air as you're blast packing around. Things like that can happen. Looks like it might be an A-main duel.
Smoke coming down. Valen just TPing in. Back rubble. Space conceded, though. T1, anticipating that showstopper is likely to come into play.
Exactly.
So are playing back. Looks like Saya just going to be rotating around here as Carpe continues to jiggle peek out over at stairs. And given the buys, I mean, he doesn't have to really respect too much of the damage available for them on those jiggles, aside from the Sheriff.
Still, though, making a lot of noise. Still could cut through towards that baby door. But for now, looks like A is going to be the initial thought here for G2. And all this space given up. Here goes that showstopper.
Showstopper sent. He's likely going to have to just kind of gamble for it. As he works his way up the rope. Izu just around the corner. He finally turns back. Showstopper still does connect on the side player, so it's just going to be the raises traded out. Now the pit invested, looking to make this have an approach completely unassailable. Jonah, however, only able to find Xcurate before falling. Now the pit dropped. Izu, however, going to be taken down. Carpe arriving. That lockdown is in play.
Mati lah.
Maybe just a small little cut before him to play with to try to keep himself safe. No, he ends up getting detained. Now it's just trying to break line of sight, keep himself protected. He is able to do so. He will be able to regain his weaponry, but he's at 1 HP. A lot of this pressure is going to be on Rossi. Trent not going to be caught by the Nightfall. Seas does not get the grab. Font at the ready, time ticking, needing to try to stick onto this one. Rossi!
Nice!
Blow them down, but is the time going to be there? Quite make it happen. To MasterCard Thrifty here, the hands of G2 as they find themselves a second round win.
Well, for what it's worth, they get the win, but it took everything in the kitchen sink for G2 to find that round. It took the showstopper, it took the lockdown, it took the Viper's Pit, and still T1 wipes them all out. And it was only 0.32 seconds they had to spare. Rossi been great with that Odin. Xcurate tried to push into that Viper's pit early, couldn't quite do so. It's so close. But now, okay, great. Now you've got all these ults. You've got the tour de force. You've got the showstopper still for Saya. This is a very tricky round for them to navigate, trying to keep Xcurate uncomfortable with the Prowler, but this is all just kind of trying to get some info, trying to keep players in place. You do have a bit of a push here by Leaf, trying to clear the trademark with the Swarm Grenade. He is going to get it. So good awareness there from G2 of where that likely spot of that chamber utility was going to be.
We're probably going to check. It's going to be 2 weapons heard. And because of that trademark clear out, he does have to turn his sights back over in towards B, make sure that there's not going to be this pinch coming through. So for now, it's Carpe to try to really hold things off. This continues to jiggle peek. No one really peeking out there, no one really giving him any sights, but because there's not been a push into B, because they're pushing all the way out of Mound, T1,
they know.
Definitely going to know that they're either clustered up in here, outside of A, or just outside of B. So a third of the map, something that they don't really have to be concerned about anymore. Alarm bot here from Leaf. Trying to set up, give them that early alert system, but in his position, he still could be taken down.
Oh no.
Start working their way forward. Xcurate making his position here known. Alarm bot gonna have to be cleared out, but Icy first one to fall. Leaf able to come up with 2. Those are huge eliminations, and he knows that the third is there, but Xcurate gets himself on the line to find the shot and does manage to take him down. Spike now planted, ticking away. How do they decide to hold this one off? Just the C's. A teleport available to them. All of the util expended here from G2 at the moment. Xcurate works his way forward, looks to try to just be able to hold this one to half, and he is playing on the corner.
Mystic, oh
He's
shit.
gonna end up getting taken down now. It is all on Carpe. He finds the first. Still 2 more to try to deal with. Clear out on the haunt. Reads the Omen's position, but cannot find the shot. Will stand tall. Takes him down. G2 get themselves a third.
This is huge from G2. Leaving those players behind. A Leaf comes up massive again for them on that rock. Just sitting there waiting. It got pinged out, but I don't think they quite thought he was this far deep. You can see Saya just jumping up and over, trying to figure out what's going on towards Tree. Pays the price for it. Can't give Leaf those opportunities. And okay, 2 rounds in a row now for G2. Starting to feel themselves a little. Starting to get that wind behind their sails again. Let's see if they can string a few more together here. Make this a 7-5 half. Then, you know, mentally at least, you're feeling a little bit better going into that other side of the map.
Big TP, but showstopper out, sends it. That's going to be Leaf taken
Wah,
down.
gila-gilanya tuh.
Well, he does get some good damage across the Trent. He cannot confirm that kill. Trent down to 2, Icy at 84. A 1-for-1 exchange in the end. Carpe, Marshall online, Prowler coming through, sees the jump across, tries to adjust for the raise. Otherwise, maybe could have gotten a catch onto one of the other players. Instead, decides to pull back.
Yeah, the diligence good.
Oh, trying to go for the flick. Playing off that Prowler timing. Nothing going to be spotted there. Sees to try to buy himself a little bit more time. Launch over the top. Not going to be confirming no presence forward here in the site.
There.
Just looking for those shots through the smoke. Might have gotten a tag there on a Jonah P.
Yeah, a little bit of damage dealt.
Yeah, they have to retreat though.
Ya malah mundur si Izunya.
Utility. That Marshall, one of the scarier guns for sure with the eco buy from T1. So they say, okay, let's try a different direction. Let's give him another look.
Calls to go to A. Izu set up here, looking to try to get these smokes in preparation. Sends one over towards the tree door. There's a sheriff in hand.
Ooh.
Snappy as hell with that first shot. Can't quite find the follow-up, but now there's only 10 seconds remaining. Smokes coming through. Xcurate into the smoke. Looks like they still suspect it, but he's able to find the shot.
No time, no time, no time, no time, no time, no time. No time, no time.
Money, but they cannot it is a MasterCard thrifty. Xcurate will still get a follow-up. Gets himself all of them. Nothing retained. Everything taken from them. T1 now at 8-3.
How do you play it any better than that? That's unbelievable. His understanding of the timing, his understanding of the positioning. He sneaks right into that Omen smoke just a step ahead of his opponent. And that gives him the ability to stop the plant and end the round. And then he's got the TP ready to just peace out. Unbelievable stuff from Xcurate. And he's letting him know he's waving goodbye already.
Unbelievable. Well, we are right into the action, by the way, as we go into this last round of the half side player. Able to take down Icy. Finds himself another one. Carpe as well, getting a piece of the pie. And suddenly, we're all on Valen. Just a stinger in hand. Somehow he slipped the net. He does have the ult. He could pick up the
Apaan nih
spike.
tiba-tiba tiga lawan
We're
satu?
going to have to run the replay, I think, a couple times to really assess what happened here. Double swing out. Line up! And somehow he gets the collide at that distance. But Rossi says, no more of that nonsense. He will be able to be the last one standing. As it's 9-3 on the half with T1 out in front once again.
My stinger don't work like that.
No.
Oh my god.
No, it does not. But yeah, let's get ready to reassess exactly what transpired at the beginning of this round, because it was explosive. As well, I'll take a look at this one first. Yeah, that range, being able to get 2 kills, that's insane.
I mean, this is the Valen special. He is, I think, the best stinger player in the world. When I was watching through those VODs, that was something I noticed.
All right, well, plenty to talk about. Analyst says best of luck.
Thank you so much, Achilleos. Surely setting us up for success. No, seriously. I mean, if you're talking about setting up for success, I mean, it's just T1 all the way. They're utterly unstoppable at this point.
Am I pissed that they're going to be right in their predictions? Probably, but I am very happy to see, you know, that once again we're wrong, right? And I love it, because
I like
the
being
face
wrong.
that we're seeing, how they're so happy to just fight every single part of the map. How even when G2 gets a response, if they do something in one round, they adapt immediately onto the early round of the next one, keeping the pressure constant all the time.
Yeah.
The T1 that we're seeing him probably is not the one that we expected, but what does that tell us about G2, right? Like,
yeah, I think it's telling us that G2 right now, that loss that they incurred on map 2, that I think it just rattled them so much at this point, and really it motivated T1, if anything, because you're starting to see T1 just go for it. And you know, one thing that we wanted to point out was this battle here between Saya and Icy, and honestly, Icy was a guy that we were really complimenting coming out of the first stage, because he was starting to find his footing, really starting to find his voice within the team as well. But Saya player and company have just shut him down. He has really not been a factor in this series. And Saya's starting to find that life here. He's getting so much. He's getting so proactive because he's being enabled so well. Huh? Oh yes, Life is playing later. How dare you? But yeah, look. Honestly, it really has just been the T1 show from Jump Street.
Yeah, completely. And as we were saying, right, the proactivity from both of them, just going head to head. It has to keep happening right now.
Yeah, it truly does. Look, G2, they need to show some life here. Let's send it back over to Achilleos and Paper Thin.
Thank you very much. Yes, life is exactly what we are looking to see here from these squads. He's going to be playing in the next game.
Dang it, come on,
exactly
man.
where you're going.
Come on. God, give me those.
I'm going to read your jokes about as well as T1's been reading this map at the moment.
It's almost like we've been casting together for a while.
Wow. G2. A must-win pistol. Gonna look to slow things up here on this approach. Doesn't need a bit of damage, and now eats the paranoia. He's out in front, and Saya is able to take him down. Push up, though. It's upper. Valen will be there to go ahead and get the punish. So far, a 1-for-1 as Isu as well looking to try his luck. But with the back up there from Rossi, he's able to find him. Isu turns back over, finds another. Excurrent takes down Trent, and suddenly it is all on Leaf. Rossi, maybe an easier target here for him at 65. Actually doesn't interrupt the plan. They just want to double face, but he runs out of bullets. Does Excurrent, and that is going to be a Red Bull clutch here from Leaf.
Oh my!
Spray on the corpse, and oh boy, Excurrent, 1 bullet shy of being able to fire that pistol round win. Leaf, he takes those.
Leaf here, bringing a shot of adrenaline for his team. This round looked like it was done and dusted. Yeah, but Excurrent there, just running out of ammo. T1 doing a lot of good things, a lot of good trades. The early hit was beautiful. Paranoia right on point. But Leaf has been phenomenal at times today. Obviously on Breeze, he was brilliant. Now he's got that outlaw and he's got a kill.
He does take a nasty bit of damage. The Marshal at least able to find some bit of value there from Saya, but Leaf, just once again picking up that outlaw and putting it to good use. Excurrent in the meantime going to be creeping forward. Icy just around the corner. Excurrent trying to play this out as quietly as
No.
I think he's spotted. He's been spotted, and he will get taken down. Solid opener here from Icy. If he drops, that ace sight gets opened up, and who knows what happens from there. A much needed kill, much needed stability for G2.
It's a cute attempt there from Excurrent, trying to hide himself from that jiggle peek angle. Just not quite able to do so. Izu's going to snatch up that Marshall for himself, see if they can make this C-site hit work. There is that nano right on the ground. Carpe heard it, but
Emang gak ada
he says,
yang
whatever.
info apa
Let's walk
killjoy-nya
through it
Dice ya?
anyway. See if we can at least get the
Dia
plant down potentially.
nyari
Get some
ini
money
anjir,
in the
alarm
hands
botnya.
of T1. Throw out the haunt to try to cover. Just players of G2 waiting all on the extremities of this C-site.
Spike planted.
Spike in, but still 5 members alive here for G2. Izu, look at that first challenge here, first contact. Does he just have that Marshall in hand, but does have to back away, and he's a nasty amount of damage now, down to 12 HP. Ends up getting paranoia. C's coming through to try to buy some time here for them, but I see with that paint shell lob around the corner, does come up with a kill. Rossi, right-clicking his way, but doesn't know where they're
Aduh,
at.
Rossi
It's gonna be a
ngapain sih?
180 attempt with a Marshall shot. 3 players
Rossi
left standing,
ngapain
though.
sih?
Outlaw and 2 Bulldogs going to be carried over. G2, they managed to not give up the anti-eco.
Yeah, a good start here for G2. Good patience. T1 trying to set up a little bit of bait and switches there on that C site, trying to draw players out so he can get some kills. Huge early win there, even though he takes the damage. That Outlaw, so valuable for Leaf. And X-Curate again. Attempt at something a little bit cheeky. Not quite able to find success. However, he does have enough money for an op. So, all things considered, T1 trying to get back into that groove, trying to get back into that comfort zone. And it is so tricky for G2 because you have to be so cautious of pushing these angles.
Oh, Izu out in front of this smoke. Tries the transition there, but it's a little bit too soon. But now with the reveals coming in, they know that they're stuck. But Icy
Spike down.
still able to find that kill. Leaf in the meantime killing off Rossi, Saya player. Just he and X-Curate try and stop this bonus conversion. X-Curate creeping along, working his way back over in towards spawn. Jonah backing off. There's the jump. There's the pick. X-Curate finds the kill. Now he'll move forward, bring the spike over into the site where he can be planted for Leaf. Let's see what decision he makes. It's going to be a very long rotation for him.
Could snag a gun on the way through. Upgrade that Outlaw into a rifle for sure.
Oh, rifle.
Yep, he's looking right at the one in spawn. Things just so aggressive from both these teams.
Now grabbed up, but with the tuck into the corner here from X-Curate, it's really hard to try to isolate. He's got that trademark set up over at Waterfall, and now he's just watching main. Leaf needs to read this, needs to find that kill and get himself back out so that he can re-aggress against Saya player here. He's expecting it, but he's just not quite able to find the shot. X-Curate will go ahead and put him down as T1 get themselves up to 10. Of course, the operator recovered.
Yeah, no, it's just a crazy start to this round. Izu TP's just to the side of Mound here, using this smoke to cover his angle. A great paranoia as well to set him up. But then there's 2 players from G2 cutting in, and he can't quite get his aim stabilized in time. They try to re-peek, but the players of G2 were waiting, got some big kills. However, Saya, the final piece of the puzzle for T1 in that round, in terms of getting into that C site and getting that plant down. A little bit of an early smoke, but X-Curate is not afraid of anything when he has an op in his hands. He is just pushing, and he wants to see what he can get away with.
He said it in interviews multiple times. He feels like when he has that operator in hand, he's the best player in the world. Like that's the level of confidence that he has with it. While it was a slow start on Icebox, it's been pretty good.
It's been all right, yeah.
First couple rounds on Icebox, ever since then, it's been nothing but solid. Creeps his way up, gets himself in behind rubble. Oh spot on the one, but I don't know if he's going to be ready for a potential counterswing from Valen.
Yeah, he has to fall back towards his rendezvous. He's the safety there of that TP now that he's been identified. And G2, though, not looking to try to get aggressive off of it. They're, I think, a little bit concerned that this is some kind of trap play. Instead, they're just going to be content to just wait this out, sit by Baby Door, and see what T1's move is. They're going to be reactive in this round.
Trent is right there, but Icy is just behind the box. And it hasn't looked like X-Curate has really paid any attention towards that position, but as the wall comes up, cut off his access, they cut off his sight lines, and they look to storm into the A side. Valen, however, spraying across, able to find one, finds himself a second as Izu will fall. Rossi answering back, does take him down. The advantage is there. Plant now coming through, tagged up are Rossi and X-Curate. Not even 100 HP between the two of them versus 4 players. Saya trying to be the first one to save them off. Spotted out just a bit. They take their time on the approach to drop and actually cut back across in towards stairs. Turn the setup in case that backstab comes through. Saya dead. Xcurate and Rossi now everything to do, everything to attempt, but they will just get gunned down. Jonah takes him out in one fell swoop. 4 players left standing. They can even grab the operator if they want. That's going to be G2. Shortening the gap a little bit more, keeping themselves in this series. It's now 10-6.
The patience is paying off for G2. They're doing a great job of not giving up anything early. And then as soon as this toxic screen comes down, Valen knows that there's only so much time that you have to get towards the A site. And he is in a perfect spot. They let all of T1 pass. They don't spray through that toxic screen when they're opening that door at tree because they know that the timing is a little bit shorter than what you need to cross into the site most likely. And Valen is just waiting with open arms. Gets a big kill. Just a little bit of damage here to Jonah P. Rossi though, oh boy.
Spotting out multiple. Needs to try to back away. Tag down to 85, and he's going to be hightailing it out. With the orb take, Xcurate does get this tour de force online. Poison orb to come up, and it looks like Xcurate might. Okay. Looks like maybe the call is going to be to not just blind push up through the Viper orb. Thinks better of it.
Just trying to clear some space, maybe see if they can draw some attention out of B. Taking his time, but nobody up in heaven. You do have Valen over towards the waterfall side of B site. Identify the turret. Smoke's going to come out. And for now, T1's just going to use that opportunity to regroup towards main. Not a lot of information for T1 to work with here. So leave Xcurate on his own. Let that tour de force cover the flanks. See if you can take control of Rubble.
Trying to force away for a brief little moment, but the showstopper comes out, and that just forces them all back. More time and space bought here by G2.
30 seconds left.
Rocket just going to be sent. Nothing found there, but now it looks like T1 being
Jonah
forced to commit into this C site, and there is so much util waiting for them. No, tap under the door. Now they cut back over into B. Turret at the ready, but Trent, Icy, both nearby. What? Turret comes up with one, but Xcurate finds Icy. Valen going to be taking down the plant now. Started, but interrupted for a brief little moment. Leaf noted a backside. He gets shoved back, finds the headshot though. Taking down to Isu, the plant comes in. Carpe looking to try to take some space, works his way up in towards upper, but he's been spotted.
Last player standing.
And Xcurate, as he falls, it's now all on Carpe. We've seen him pull off miracles with Sheriffs in the past, but he's tagged up, and Leaf just swings out a little bit wider for the challenge. A 4K for him in 7 rounds now for G2.
And now might be the time that we see T1 take a timeout, try to rethink some of their ideas. G2 is doing a phenomenal job mirroring every angle that T1 wants to take, and they're doing a good job playing together. We're starting to see some of that coordination. Leaf is coming online again with that firepower. Need to slow things down a little bit here as T1 in terms of the players being hot on G2. Maybe you could turn up the pace. I'd be fine with that. That round was rather slow as far as this match has, you know, gone.
Yeah. That is some explosiveness.
Yeah.
That didn't really fit the bill.
Which I think, you know, probably plays in a T1's favor, right? Because of the way Pacific kind of is. We're a little bit more on the, you know, faster pace side sometimes. So I think, you know, you go into scrappier matches like that. And yeah, it didn't work out on Breeze, but since then, T1's been thriving for the most part until recently, until this side swap here on Lotus. We're really starting to see G2 get their act together. Just again, really shutting down any attempts that T1 wants to take in terms of working the map, finding any early picks, finding any early advantages. They're not giving up any, and they're hitting T1 when T1's trying to make their move, trying to get into positions to put a plant down, to set up post plants, and they're not allowing it, and that's really smart.
All right, now everybody from T1 outside of A. Showstopper nearly there for Saya player. They've got the Nightfall as well as the Pit. They get into a post plant position. Granted, Leaf does have that lockdown to try to flush them out of a pit.
This looks like a fast hit to me. You got the Nightfall, you got a Showstopper. Let it rip.
Halo, monyet lebam.
Last pack across.
Sapa dong bang. Gak sapa masuk neraka. Halo iya, monyet.
We'll reveal at least one player as there's the Paranoia forcing away Jonah P.
Kamu udah mana belum?
As the Prowler just managed to chase.
Monyet
Push up here
terbang.
into the side, but as they're vulnerable, as they're decayed, they end up falling. Another 2-piece here for the Viper of G2. Just like that, only 2 players left remaining. 4T1, Alarm Bot, under the
Aduh.
smoke. Xcurate not ready for the angle at all, and this
Xcurate.
round is completely,
Udah.
utterly a wash.
Aku yang
T1.
belum. Berarti
Paranoia
aku yang
hits on
belum.
Rossi. He's been spotted. He'll get taken down. It is a flawless. as
Aku
G2
belum mandi, habis
continue
ini baru
to step their
mandi.
way closer and closer to tying things up.
Yeah, G2's just doing a wonderful job absorbing all this pressure. Jonah P
Kok
also
chat aku
able
nggak
to dodge that
dibales?
seize. And that alarm bot makes it all the easier. Xcurate trying to step outside of it. Yeah, just play back. Give him a little bit of space. I'm a little bit surprised here that T1 didn't pull the trigger on the Nightfall potentially after they took tree control. Thought there might be a good
doang
opportunity to
lagi.
at least guarantee yourself that site, guarantee yourself that plant, get into the Viper's pit, and then go from there. But instead,
Aduh,
they tried to just
krusial ini
brute force their
93
way
nih,
through
Cok.
with their guns, and G2's been really good in those situations here as we've gone over to their defender side of Lotus.
Paint Shell's going to be committed here onto the forward corner just to try to get rid of some of that KJ util, but as we can see, it's all been positioned over towards A. That connector, the turret set up.
Bring them down.
Tyler out of the C door, T1 just hunting, looking to see if they can spot anything, if they can catch any mistakes being made.
Just really, once again, Xcurate looking for those opening picks with that headhunter. Clears the trademark, at least lets him know that there is a player in there. Setting up everybody for T1 for this push, but like you mentioned earlier, Achilleos, everything in the kitchen sink for the Killjoy utilities here.
Showstopper at the ready.
Alah.
Again. Jonah P playing
Ah,
off that
kena
orb, playing
nano.
off that decay damage. Leaf finds himself 2 kills.
GG
As
ente
Leaf
ini mah
gets
coy.
himself a third. Carpe does put him down with the Guardian, has to clear it out, but can't stabilize the aim there for Valen. Another solid round here. G2 just 1 step away, 1 round away.
Abang kok ganteng, orang Korea dari mana?
They're just doing a phenomenal
Aku orang
job
dari Cina,
avoiding
China.
any utility.
Kampun kap leuy, ya kan? Kampun kap leuy, sorry kap.
Phenomenal stuff right now.
Aku
from
Cina,
G2. How
Thailand.
much pressure was on them coming out of that first half after that blowout on Icebox to be able to stand tall. 6 rounds to 1 right now in this half. Absolutely nuts, but this is where it kind of has to change for T1 if
Aku
they're
Cina,
going to
Thailand,
stabilize. You
ya
have that Nightfall
kampun
still,
kap
you have
leuy.
that Viper's
Ya
Pit still.
Allah.
You've got to find opportunities to use those in conjunction to get to a plant, to get to a post plant.
Angin amo
Find yourself
bobo,
around. Otherwise, it is going to be
kapunkep.
all tied up. You still have that
Aku
lockdown to
blasteran
consider
dari
as well. That's a
Cina,
real problem
Thailand, terus
with that util combo. If you put that Viper's
Filipin.
Pit down and the lockdown comes through to clear it, can get pretty tricky for T1.
It's coming out, suspecting that maybe somebody's going to be forward, so smoke comes in. But off those sight lines, as it looks like T1 getting ready to crunch their way into this B site. Potentially make Trent's job a little bit more difficult as he is going to be blinded up, but he's just blind spraying to take down Saya. Xcurate does turn back, catches Jonah P, but there's the lockdown now invested here at upper. Plant comes in, but they have to respect this, they have to back away. Nightfall potentially here, but Paint Shells will go ahead and buy some spaces. Yep, Nightfall will come across, but they're stuck in onto this defuse. Haunt now coming through, he's just holding it, but there's the cleanup. Carpe, Snappy gets himself 2 kills. Valen now, last one standing to jump out of the smoke. Xcurate plays distraction as Carpe collects the kill. T1 will finally break this win streak of G2.
Yeay.
Separate themselves just a little bit more.
Penonton
but
aku
still,
3 orang,
nothing else
kamu,
we've seen the perseverance
aku,
from G2 on this map.
dan
T1
satu
been
lagi
far
nggak tahu
beyond the walls.
siapa.
No doubt about it. I mean, this is finally T1 able to get enough space to set up this B crunch. And still, it
Akhirnya
almost gets shut down.
dapat poin
by
lagi,
Trent,
Cok.
I mean, it was on a nice edge there for a moment, but that haunt timing was perfect from Carpe. The shooting, phenomenal as well, but it ain't comfortable at all for T1. Yeah, you still have that Viper's Pit because Rossi got taken down pretty early in the round, but pace of the game is slowed up, and I think that's working in G2's favor a little bit.
Halo,
So
cecenya
cagey.
Acu.
Xcurate can't win his battle out on the edge.
Only a smattering of damage found there on that spray from Carpe, but now Looking for the take here on to B. Paint shells to try to create some space that C-link.
Loh, berarti kalian nonton berdua dong.
Leaf is reading this absolutely flawlessly.
Nobar gitu.
It's gonna be Leaf who starts eating some damage. Sai gonna be taken down in the meantime. Trent able to find Rossi. Izu finds that kill, but now he has so much more work to do. 2 players left, just he and Carpe versus 4. The pit.
Oh, what a play.
Oh, Carpe just gonna lurk over here into the side, able to find those 2 quick taps. Izu, can he make it happen? Some shots there, into the shoulder, stabilizes, but he needs a headshot, he needs a 1-tap, and he's not gonna find it. Jonah will be the last one standing here for G2. Oh, okay. Jonah how he really feels as he goes back over to the defuse. Once again, 1 round separating. 11 to 10, T1 still in a decent position. They are going to be calling their second timeout.
And this is a really interesting decision from the side of T1 in terms of, you know, throwing down the Viper's pit, sending Izu with that TP into the back of C, but it doesn't really pay off. It's read extremely well, even though Izu somehow almost wins it, trying to keep him pinned, but Izu's able to find just enough timing to sneak around the corner back towards the spike. Still can't quite get it done. But, you know, it's just phenomenal defense here from G2. Again, they're just doing such a good job of making sure that they're not giving up anything for free. They're holding the angles that they need to. They're dodging the utility. And it's taken extreme effort from T1 to get these rounds. Get these 2 rounds in this half. Just need 2 more. But it's looking right now like they need to dig a little bit deeper. They need to get a little bit crazier. Carpe away from a nightfall. 2 for Trent.
Jadi pengen buka baju.
Let's see if that's going to be part of the game plan here for both teams. It's going to be keeping eyes on those orbs. Keep Carpe away from that big ult. I mean, he's been lighting up the scoreboard as Carpe. But here in the second half, he's been translating to round wins. Looking like, once again, we're going to be setting up the G2 Killjoy utility over onto A. And the turret still in that same spot by Baby Door. A little bit further forward with this Nano at the tree door. Trying to play off a contact a little bit there is Leaf, who has been also just absolutely explosive here in the second half.
Very quiet, very pulled back here from G2. T1. They just scale their way up, but I mean, look at this approach. It's a massive push through stairs. Try to see if they can get any kind of catch here. As Carpe at least will try to distract and keep attention over towards that door.
Oh my god.
Wrap around, swing out, shots coming, Balin's way, he is not ready for it, he can't really play, but Leaf, what is that? 2 quick kills. Paranoia is going to be good. Shot found, Izu able to come up with that elimination.
Ooh, nice.
Side player gets the jump on Icy, takes him down. Trent in the meantime does manage to backstab, gets the kill. Carpe on the floor. 2 players left, 40 seconds to try to play with. So T1 very much is going to be ending up here on this B site. Jonah P just listening, hearing, lurking within the smoke. How does he decide to play this one out? Oh, this is going to be like that. He'll just work his way forward. This man is not having it. More spray, another defuse, and now a tied up game at 11-11.
T1 digging deep into the strategy book here, going for the long lurk. And G2 is certainly fired up and feeling it. And it almost works, but if it isn't for this guy, Leaf, who's just been a nightmare at times on that Sentinel role. And then Jonah P just knew it. They went over to B. He's like, I'm just going to wait for the plant. And then I step in, and they are not going to be ready at all. They are not going to read this position. And I can just take care of business. Trent was coming on the rotation as well, but didn't need him. Absolutely.
Wih, di comeback, cowok.
From G2. They are
93, cowok, dari 93.
So aware
Dia
right
cuma
now.
dapat
It's a much needed round win because not only does it tie up the game, but it also allows them to avoid what would have been very close to a thrifty. Things were very wishy-washy for them there. Just given, honestly, a very good call from T1 to go on that huge push.
T1
Now they have
kalahin,
full
cowok.
firepower.
Think about this. If T1 doesn't win this round, their economy's in the gutter.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a must-do almost for T1 at this point.
Anjir, iya bener lagi.
G2, they have a lot of good tools nearly there.
Harus menang nih.
Still just one away for Icy.
Duitnya nggak ada.
On both sides.
Kalau dari ini.
Execute again, looking to go his way forward. Himself tucked away for now, and has that trademark set up inside a tree as well.
Once again, try this A hit, it looks like, but it's been tricky for them to even get a plant down over here because of how good G2's positioning and gunplay is. There's that earlier Nightfall. I like that to clear the space. Only catching a couple players from G2, but they're pivoting over towards B.
Space taken. Here's that bot. Knowing that Leaf is going to be somewhere nearby. Want to just go ahead and check close as Carpe goes in for the plant.
Jangan
With that
nge-throw
answering
ya.
Nightfall, as you said, Trent, he was able to hold on to it. Has that for the retake. See when he decides to send that. As it now goes crashing across. He's going to be caught by that one. Icy on the entry, able to find Sion, but then gets taken down. Carpe finding two. Looks for a little more. Can't quite make it happen, but it's going to be two. Mowing down the last few. T1 get themselves now up to match point. 12-11, but G2, they have been battling back every time they have a disadvantage. Can they take this to overtime?
Let's go, menang.
I definitely believe with the way they've been playing in this half, but what I like here is the minor adjustment from T1 with that Nightfall in play. Instead of saving it until they get to a site, they use it to clear space, give them the ability to pivot, put themselves into a post plan, and Xcurate is fired up.
All of them. Saya yelling into his monitor as if his former teammates on the opposite side could hear him. Showstopper there now for Icy. Got that on the depth. Tour de force. He's going to be able to note that chamber here on this A side of the map. He pulls back away and is also going to be holding on to that spike. So should the C site get taken, he's going to be a little bit slow to get himself in there for the plant.
Please,
RT1. They want to make sure that they don't give anything over for free there. So we're going to use that paint shells to clear space to give Saya his. Yeah.
But yeah, Showstopper is now online. But the alarm bot, that other nano, still standing there on C. Trent, for now, left alone here on A in a very committed position.
See this staggered pullback from G2 where they're so cautious of utility. They see it, they fall back. They're trying to get info. They're trying to give themselves the best opportunity to rotate when they want to dictate the pace of this game in their favor. You still have to be so concerned about these showstoppers for both sides. That's why they're being overly cautious, also with the pressure of that scoreline.
They purposely let that Haunt get the reveal there onto Xcurate. Because he has been lingering, he has been lurking.
Nice,
now pushing forward, gets the opening shot. Trent going to be taken down. Showstopper not able to find anything, but the plant's going to be coming through. The man advantage is there for T1. This 5v4 post that Showstopper it needs to deliver.
Yoo-hoo!
Fallon at drop. Boombot to try. The spot. He drops down, and he's back around. He is able to find it. He ends up pulling on the back end as Rossi finds that kill. Shots across Leap, down to 3 HP. Swing for Rossi. He ends up falling. And now it is all on Carpe, and he cannot make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Master Shanghai, and welcome to overtime.
This is exactly what I wanted to see from these two teams. Both have been so good at Lotus. It has been such a favored map for them throughout this stage. We wouldn't have it any other way. We go right into overtime. A little bit of an overswing, I think, from Rossi. I think got a little bit overconfident there. Went for an angle that was a little bit tough after doing so much damage. Tried to see if he could catch him a little bit off guard after he lit up Leaf towards rope. But G2 so aware, so ready for it, and with both teams so good on their defender side, who is going to be able to get that attacker side win first? Will that be that deciding factor, considering they were both 9 and 3 on their defenders?
Glass cannon here for Xcurate. Operator back in hand, gets himself boosted up here on top of the box.
Bener nih tebakannya.
Very short TP over to the left for him. The Haunt does get cleared.
So much attention here at Rubble. Saya trying to take positioning.
Taking an immense amount of space, but that's now just leaving Rossi all on his lonesome. Weapon comes out. Here's the Prowler. Takes some shots. Paranoia looking to help force him back. Backs his way away. Head shells now being sent. His own bite going to be coming through for the entry. Has already begun, but he's still able to find the first shot. Jonah P going to be taken down. Looks for a little bit more. Ben not going to be taken. Icy having the drop down off the box side. In the meantime, though, able to find that shot. Does take him down. Finds himself a second, but Leaf answers back. Leaf finding three. And now it's all on Excurate. The man's not even on the site. Now there's a lockdown in play. He just has the operator. A single headshot.
Ayo
on that
Kevin,
really
Susanto, ayo.
Unless he can get himself into the site and recover one of these weapons. You're in an advantageous position for him to go ahead and recover one, but he doesn't want to make any noise. Sees one. That's going to be Leaf. Take him down as he draws out the headhunter. Valen swings in. The lead is there. It is G2's as they are now at match point. And a timeout call is going to be coming through for T1. Needing to get this reset.
And what a gutsy play call here from G2. Just say, all right, we're going to death ball it towards C. Little bit of congestion towards A, but T1 just a little bit slow. This is a great understanding of the way that T1 was playing their defender side by Valen, because typically G2 has been kind of taking their time to rotate. They kind of do some due diligence. They look around the map for some utility, but this time it's just an immediate pivot, an immediate hit towards C. Now, credit to Rossi. Did a great job getting out of there, getting some early damage, slowing things down for a couple players to shift over for T1. However, Leaf is right back to where we saw him on Breeze. 23-19, and in that round, he broke things open for G2. Got that lockdown, gave him the safety to get that plant. Unbelievable stuff that we've seen from him here today.
It's just every single time it looks like T1 is in an advantage early on in these rounds. Leaf just says, no,
we're done.
I'm still alive. That means you die.
Can't forget about Leaf.
Everything to play for here for T1 if they want that reset. G2 just looking to try to end it right here, right now. Get that 14-12. No riskiness from them, no glass cannon, no operator. Just gonna play a very straight up round.
Looking to take their time a little bit. Another early push out towards the rock from Excurate. Get the ping identification of Valen's position. They use that orb early to cross, take rubble control. But this is all just trying to set up and try to show that they're going for more of an A hit. Really clear the turret. Carpe just taking a scrape of damage on the way out.
Backs away, Leaf wanted to get that punish there. Trying to get rid of that YouTube, but Icy, again, lurking behind this box. Hasn't really gone scouted. As he's played this time and time again. Gets the catch, that's now the IGL. Dead on the side of T1. A 45 conversion necessary for them to reset, to extend this overtime. That is a very solid first step for G2 to close things out.
I don't know if they're going to be thinking that T1 is this far pushed up.
Now just looking to jiggle on the angle. Considering if he wants to TP back with the rest of his team, and he does so. Paranoia at the ready, sends that, and that's going to force them packing, but no, he's on his stage. It's picked up three. Just in the blink of an eye, they will all get mowed down. The flood of G2 washes them away.
Okay guys, thanks for watching, thanks for today.
What a run back from down 3.
Off guys. Thank you guys. Malam live streaming kali, nggak tahu deh. Oke. Bye.